Hey, what's going on? How are you doing out there? This is your Uncle Steve here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. It is Sunday. It's the Sunday Chill. Here to talk to you today about a couple of subjects. We'll get back to it in a second. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. Hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. Finally got rid of most of the rain over the last couple of days. Sun's coming out, got a little warm out there. So hopefully everyone got a chance to go enjoy themselves. If you haven't been here before, this is Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve. I appreciate you chiming in, coming in to talk to us today. If you don't mind, as you come in, make sure you hit the like button. If you like what you're hearing, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button to get lots of Falcon content. And even on a day like today on Sunday, we talk a little bit of pop culture, entertainment, and everything like that. Get everybody caught up on things. Of course, we had the schedule release this week with the Atlanta Falcons. If you want to still talk about that, we will have plenty of time to do that. So feel free to chime in if you would like. I also wanted to put uh, one of the subjects as is a question I received earlier this week from one of the Falcon fans 78, that was asking if we could talk a little bit about the streaming media. I think with you know Netflix getting the Christmas games this year, and you happen to have Netflix now to see a couple of games. Does that make a huge difference in your household as far as, hey, am I going to pay that 9.99? I don't even know what Netflix is anymore, and which is I, kind of ashamed to say I have Netflix. I don't even know how much they charge for it now. I don't think it's $20, but I know it's not free. But now, when you start talking about Amazon, they have exclusive games on Amazon on Thursday. Now, Netflix is jumping into the mix with their particular games on uh, Christmas Day. Are you willing to shell out that extra couple of dollars to see the NFL? I remember back in the day, uh, and I say back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, where you strictly just had a couple of games on. I mean, there would be many a weeks as an Atlanta Falcon fan that especially during the hard times where you could go weeks without seeing a Falcon game nor highlight. The best thing you had was the radio, uh, listening to the radio and hopefully getting a glimpse and imagining what you saw on air. You had at that time it was CBS and NBC that had the games. It was CBS, and that was even before Fox came along. Fox Network came along. You have one CBS game, one NBC game, and if the Falcons played, and if they were away, they showed all the away games. But if the Falcons were at home, the only way you could see the game is if they sold out, and I think it was a certain percentage that they had to do. I think it was close to 90%. So it's not like everyone had access to every game back in the 70s and 80s. So when I see now people are trying to say, well, they're going to make us pay for, well, you don't have to pay. Like if you're a prime team, like say Kansas City. Now, if you're in Kansas City position and you're getting a lot of those primetime games, I notice Baltimore is getting a lot of those games as well. Now, you might be in a bit of a pickle because you're going to have to pay that extra money for the game. But for the most part, free TV still will get you 3 games. Whoever has the doubleheader between Fox and CBS. And now Monday night is kind of a trip because Monday night they have it on ESPN, which you do have to have cable for. However, the majority of the time they show that on the local ABC affiliate here in Atlanta is Channel 2. They usually show the Monday night games on Channel 2 as well. So it's not really that much of a difference. But how do you all feel about that? Do you feel like um being a football fan doesn't matter? I'm still going to pay. I'm somebody who pays for the Sunday ticket because I just like football like that. So if you like it, you'll probably pay for it. If you don't like it, yeah, I mean, it's not like you don't get any football on free TV. You do get some. So I don't know. I'm kind of half. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I say if it's your liking not to watch, don't watch. But if you are a huge football fan like myself, a lot of times you will pay that extra bit to get all of your football, especially during the season. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, aside of the Atlanta Falcons scheduling and streaming, if you look scrolling across the bottom, I have a particular expectation level of the fans. Now, I'm not talking about fans that's just saying, listen, I'm rooting for my Falcons to go to the Super Bowl all day, every day. Of course you are. If you weren't a Falcon fan, you probably wouldn't be here. So I get that part. But what's your realistic expectation for the 2024 season for the Atlanta Falcons? As the schedule came out, I see a lot of folks. Um, yeah, we're gonna go 11-6. We're gonna go 13-4, and we're gonna. And of course, that's because of excitement and built up, um, you know, just expectations for the team. But I wanted to not only ask you to give me your choice, but tell me why in the chat, if you don't mind, so we can discuss it out loud and bring it out there. So, do you think the Falcons' expectation is A, a winning record, B, the NFC South title, C, at least one playoff win, D, the Super Bowl, or are you expecting E, the same old Falcons under 500 again? So again, your realistic expectation. I'm not trying to tell you we're all not rooting for the Falcons to make the playoffs. So make sure you understand the question. What's your realistic expectation? And I'll put it this way. When you say realistic expectation, I would hope you would understand that heads would roll if we were the same old Falcons under 500 with all the moves we've done. So, do you think this team is good enough for a winning record, good enough for NFC South title, good enough for at least one playoff win, or D, good enough for a Super Bowl, or E, same old Falcons under 500? Last question, pop culture question today. I was looking at it was one of my favorite shows of all time, and I saw it on YouTube. Came by Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. And the first couple of years of Moonlighting was must see TV, funny, fresh, you know, always off the cuff, things of that nature. And then you almost get to a point where you're like, man, y'all should have stopped maybe after that third season because it kind of got stale, predictable, and just the freshness was gone from it. And so that's one of those TV shows that I say stayed one season too long. So if you have a TV show that you can think of that stayed one season too long, put it here in the chat and we'll talk about. That's a lot of stuff we put, but you know what? It's Sunday. You're relaxed. More than likely, if you're in front of your computer or watching me on the phone or watching me on a TV that's streaming to your TV, first, thank you. But Let us know what you feel about those questions. So we put a lot out there for y'all. Let's get to the chat and talk about things. Okay. Appreciate everyone joining us here. First of all, starting us off in the poll seat today, my brother Big Low Country Sports in the house. Gotta give him some love out here. Y'all make sure y'all check out my buddy Big Low Country Sports. See what he's talking about. He said, let's see what's talking about today, man. Shoot, I just ran through all of that, man. You gonna make me say it again? But Guns and Saints is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I remember you came through last time. Thank you so much. Three Dirty is in the house. What's up, Three Dirty? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Dexter Owens is here. What's up, Dex? Good to see you. He said, what's up, They're going to find a way to get Diddy, not about the abuse because they can't, but they're going to find a way to get his. He came out and admitted he's sorry. Here's the problem. And feel free if y'all want to talk about that too. Again, this is talking pop culture and stuff like that. Here's the thing about the Diddy thing. And it's funny. Somebody had a post today was talking about forgiving people. And, let's not pretend like we're not a forgiving society. We are. And as heinous and horrible as all of that was, I in my heart of heart, I just think we have a forgiving gene in us that not forget, but to forgive. But if you watch the little makeshift apology that Diddy put across, it was very, to me, not, I don't know, one, not believable, and two, you kind of apologizing to the wrong person. Who are you apologizing to? You need to be apologizing to that young lady, and you need to apologize for saying you didn't do it. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest fallacy in that whole thing. You said you didn't do all of that. You said you were unjustly being drug around, ironically, in the public as a bad person. And now we saw this, and now he's, I went to therapy, and I beg for forgiveness. Nobody's feeling sorry for Mr. Combs, but being a human, I do have a natural forgiving, but he got a long way to go. And hopefully he realizes that. Brian Davis, what's going on? Brian, how you feeling, my brother? Say hello, Uncle Steve. I agree with you on the NFL streaming. Shake my head. I think the NFL stands for no funds left. He said shaking my hands and shaking my pockets. That's crazy, man. Guns and Saints says, I have an uncle named Steve, too. Oh, I hope that's a good guy. Because, hey, here, that's a cool thing. Uncle Steve in the house. Dexter, other Dexter is in the house. What's up, Dex? So how's it going to the streaming program? Welcome capitalism. At the end of the day, that's all it's about. Listen, this is the most popular sport right now in the United States, bar none. You take advantage of that. And we're in a world now where you make the most money you can. It was interesting to me that NFL teams, as much money as they make, when they brought on the gambling aspect a couple of years ago, and I heard about that check that they divvied out, I think before the 2022 season or 23 season, when they first introduced it in 22, I believe. Each owner received over $300 million from DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, all of them combined. $300 million per owner. That's why I don't cry for the those who are more financially better off than we are. 300 million. Dexter says, I have a Fire Stick and I can get every game. I don't care where it is, even on Prime, which I did pay for it anyway, but I could get it anyway. I'm a no show. I'm a no for a show now. They changing everything. Yeah, pretty much. John Higgins, Big John is here. What's up, Dan? How you doing? Happy Sunday to you as again, my friend. He says, Uncle Steve, these sports venues, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, all of them are starting to pimp the public. A lot of people can't afford streaming. And again, um, the streaming aspect is not going anywhere. You know how I know? Because remember about 10 years, 15 years ago, there were folks talking about, well, you got to have cable because if you don't have cable, you can't get access to this. And then all of a sudden, everybody start breaking away. You start getting, a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of Hulu, a little bit, and then the networks start doing their own thing. You got um HBO, what's it called? Max now. You got Paramount, Peacock. They're doing their own, they're separating from the free TV model. So you can still see your TV shows on free TV, but if you want to watch it ad nauseum, binge watch, or do that, then you pay the $6.99 to $9.99 and do it like you want to. And a lot of times when you have those one like Peacock, I know they have the WWE. So if you're a wrestling fan, that would be advantageous for you to get that along with all the stuff that NBC carries. If you're ABC folks, and I think ABC is in cahoots with Hulu as well, you get ABC, ESPN, and all of that under the same umbrella. Then you have to make up your mind um, what's more important to you. Streaming is not going anywhere, folks. And I understand how people are concerned about that, but it's really not going anywhere. James, what's going on, cousin? How you feeling, brother? Good to see you. He said, I'm on the fence with the ticket this year. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends, James. I love the Sunday ticket. I know it is expensive, but I'm that football guy. I want to know at the moment, and even sometimes at the game, if what's going on in the other game, be able to kind of peek in and see uh what's popping, especially when you talking about on games that the Falcons are away, and I'm not at that away game. The Sunday ticket is just crucial to me because I'm that big of a football fan. Now, if you're not, that's cool. If you're just a Falcon fan, you don't get the NFL ticket. It defeats the purpose because they don't show the Falcons game anyway. They don't show the local games on your channel. So, Keenan, what's going on? Keenan Melvin says 10-7, and I know y'all going on records, which is good, but more importantly, we're trying to get the answer to those particular questions as far as the Atlanta Falcons expectation. Not so much the record, but the choices. The choices are A, a winning record, B, NFC South title. I said NFL South. I meant NFC South. C, at least one playoff win. D, the Super Bowl. Or E, the same old Falcons. So as much as I appreciate the records, but let's see if we can get it into that particular category. Demetrius is here. What's up, Demetrius? Good to see you. How you feeling? John says, I don't think it's right for the venue sports venues to make people buy streaming apps because that's where they're all going. It's ridiculous. Here's the thing. They're going to test you. They're going to test you, and they're going to try to see how far they can go. As with everything, if the consumers push back, they'll naturally, of course, they'll kind of pull it back a little bit. But as long as the consumers keep eating it up, if the consumers keep eating it up, trust me, they'll keep throwing it out there and they'll expect you to pay. And I think people will. I think people will. I apologize. Let me get back here to the Demetrius says 12-5 or 13-4. Y'all got some high expectations for it. Marina is here. What's up, Marina? Good to see you. Say, I'm from Texas, so I don't have the luxury of seeing Falcons play on my local networks. I refuse to pay multiple sources to watch the game, so I find it on the dark web. And I listen, hey, I have no problem with that. Just be careful. That dark web can get those little bogeys into your system. So just be careful on doing that. I know a lot of people do that. Brian says, better coaching. I hear you. Barbara is here. How you doing, Barbara? Hope you having a great Sunday. Say hello, Uncle Steve. My realistic expectation is C, win the division and at least one playoff win. I want the Super Bowl win, of course, in Stanktown. We were a quarterback away last year from winning the division, 10-7. And when I'm, and this is the answer, kind of modeling what I'm talking about. She says winning the division is a realistic expectation. I think I'm right where she is. Win the division / at least one playoff win. I pointed it out to everyone the other week, and I'll do it again later on. If you look at the Atlanta Falcons and you look at the NFC, more importantly, the NFC is plumb full of average to above average quarterbacks. Would you not agree with that? Right now, the standard in the NFC as far as quarterbacks concerned, honestly, you would have asked 2 years ago, it would have been hands down Jalen Hurts, as great of a year as he had. But coming off last year, who is that guy at quarterback in the NFC? I mean, is it Brock Purdy? Is it really Jared Goff, who just got the great extension? Congratulations to him. Are you seriously thinking because Matthew Stafford won a couple of years ago with an out-of-this-world defense? And don't get me wrong, he showed up for the Super Bowl. But is that somebody that we're really getting a little worked up for? Dak Prescott is numbers all day. But the same scene happens every postseason with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys where they shrink. So in an NFC that can be had, we can be the next Detroit. We could easily be what Green Bay was last year, get into the tournament, and then all of a sudden sneak a game in there. So as far as my expectations, I'm right around there too. As Barbara says, hey, I would love to win the Super Bowl. Love to. But I'm saying my realistic expectations. Marina says, realistic expectations, we need to own the South. Anything below that, I see the season as a failure. Fair point. Absolute fair point. We made a lot of moves this year. And we invested a lot in the position that we say we were lacking in. The expectations should be, at worst, winning the division. Demetrius says, we are clowning this Minnesota Vikings fan in Miss B's live last night. He said that we were going 9-8 and they were going 10-7. Yeah. I guess Saturday night, they do a lot of smoking of the weed on Saturday. So, I don't know. John Higgins says, I trust the coaching staff we have now to get us over the hump, 15-2 or 3-4. Okay. I hear you. Another content creator in the house, the Check Down. Stephen J's in the house. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. The Check Down is on. Some great commentary, great film study, and some good analysis from my brother Steve. How you doing, brother? Dexter says, I erased that. I know the other day you said you were going to talk about the Diddy thing, and that's why I commented and erased after hearing what we were talking about today still. Oh, it's okay. No, we can talk about whatever we want to, brother. We as I said before, this is the Sunday chill. We can whatever is on y'all mind, folks. We gonna put it up there. That's why it's called the Sunday chill. Big Solo said that's a funny Diddy impersonation. I don't know. It was that. Hey, I was trying to get him accurate. I was, I was trying to get him on point. They kind of sound like him a little bit. Matt Town Dirty is here. What's up, Matt Town? Matt Town says B, the NFC South title. That's actually realistic. That's realistic. NFC South title. Barbara says 10-7 should win the division. She also says surprised they might get rid of Charles, Shaq, Jenny, and Ernie. They got the best NBA show. Well, if you haven't heard the news, NBC is trying to get the NBA back. So if they get the NBA back, that'll be the end of the run of TNT. Ernie Johnson has already said that he's sticking with TNT, probably to finish out his run. So that would probably break up everybody on the team. And I say this, they had a nice run, but just like I was talking about TV shows that lasted too long, this show is always awesome. And I think for folks I think you don't want to overstay your welcome. I think this is a great time for them to possibly get out of things. I'll even say this, and I'm not a hater or anything like that, because love Shaq, love Barkley, love Kenny Smith. There is another age group under them of basketball players. Y'all see Draymond Green on there. He's probably going to hang it up in a couple of years. And there's a tier under them. I don't think LeBron could get on that show, because when you're in the GOAT status, even though I know Tom Brady is about to do it for football, I just don't see LeBron going out there being as critical. But I think it's time for another group of players who have played a little closer to what these young guys have played. When you see a salty Shaq get mad about Jokic winning the MVP and stuff like that, and almost try to, downplay it because in my day, whatever, but it's not your day anymore. I get reminded that of all times in my house. My son and I have arguments about it all the time in sports. Why, but they don't do it like that anymore. And he's right. And in that sense, maybe they need to freshen up the team. Not that they're not good, just need to freshen it up. Jay Diaz is here. What's up, Jay? How you doing, man? What's good with you? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Again, as y'all coming in, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Just like my brother Mark is saying, only 9 likes. Come on, family, hit that like button for your favorite uncle. I appreciate that, man. Y'all do it for me, man. I appreciate it. It's Sunday. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Stop acting like y'all haven't eaten already, relaxed and stuff, man. Go up there the same way you got on this channel, the same way y'all push that like button. Hook it up for a brother. Appreciate it. That one Falcon fans here. What's good? What's good? Say, how would you feel if we traded for Trey Hendrickson and signed Yannick Ngakoue? Both are defensive ends. Now, I'm a little concerned about Yannick because I know his productivity went down a little bit, and I think it's another year where he was hurt. Now, Hendrickson, I wouldn't mind bringing Hendrickson in, but here's the problem. Hendrickson wants to get paid. He's seeing what all these other DNs are making, and he's constantly putting up double-digit numbers at the defensive end position. If you get him, you're going to have to be prepared to pay. And I don't know if this year is the year to bring him in, because right now I think we're kind of strapped as far as our money is concerned at the moment. Barbara Ridley says some diehard fan can't afford Sunday ticket, cable, streaming, season tickets, etc. And that's true. That's absolutely true. And that's why from an NFL standpoint, they should look at that. But I'll say, as if we were all entrepreneurs and we have a business, and it's great if everybody loves your business, but if you're not making any money, I mean, what's the use? It's almost like you're telling the NFL, okay, NFL, you're the most popular sport in the game. Just sit on top of that and let people just get it for free. You're not going to get that in anything, not football, not any other sport, not selling lemonade on the corner stands. It's not 50 cents anymore either. That's probably $5. So you, I am a capitalistic person where if there's money to be made, I'm all for the person making a lot of money. Now, don't get me wrong. There could be some overkill in some situations, but we all get mad at the NFL, but I guarantee you, y'all, one way or the other, some of us are going to try our best to watch. Some of us are going to try our best to get tickets to get out there. Some of us are going to try our best to fly to games. Some of us are going to do what we have to do, including get Amazon, Netflix, just to watch those games. I mean, and they will. And they'll know by the numbers. If this Netflix thing at Christmas only gets 50,000 folks to subscribe for that month just to get those games, they'll get it. They'll get it, and then they might try a different model. But you don't know until you try, and I think that's where the NFL is going. Oh, y'all gonna hate 5-6 years from now. 5-6 years from now, you might be only on streaming. Kenneth Davis is in the house. Oh, what's up? Dexter got a 9 and 8. I see you there. Kenneth Davis is in the house. What's going on, Kenneth? He said, hey, hopefully and beyond. Playoffs, hopefully and beyond. Said MacGyver too. Yeah, MacGyver did stay a little too long. Yeah, I was getting tired of him fixing up them toothpicks and turning into a bomb. Yeah, that's definitely a good show. Guns and Saints says, I want my rematch. Week 4, I'm going to be in Atlanta for the game. I went last year, but we lost. I want my rematch. Well, we have your New Orleans game coming up. So feel free and make sure you come look me up because I'll be at the game. Come check me out, brother. Come check me out. You'll get your rematch. Trust me. Our favorite buddy in our fan, beyond fans.
I love Desmond.
Kenneth Kellett in here throwing that flag up for his buddy Desmond Ridder, even though he plays for Arizona. Oh boy. Mark says B. I think Arthur Blank is expecting a division title this year. I mean, he should. It's fair. Anything less, man, it's really going to be hard. Even a winning record, 9 and 8 and no playoffs, it's going to be tough. So yeah, division should be what we're looking at. Oh, my brother Greg is here. Greg from Greg Custom Kits. What's going on, sir? He said, I'm going A and B, or bust. A and B is the standard because we were one good quarterback away from a 10-win season for the past couple of seasons. He's talking about playoff win or division title. So I understand that. That's cool. That'll work. Dexter says, when the season starts, I promise I got you. We're going to be able to watch whatever you want. It's not no illegal mess, but I promise you, somebody that knows somebody, we're going to be able to. Okay. I had to get together on that one. My bad, bro. No, I hear what you're saying. Absolutely. Kelvin is here. What's up, Kelvin? How you doing, sir? He said, C, is playoffs a bust with me for Kirk? It should be, man. Another content creator in our house is our brother from the Dixon Way, Larry, and his wife, Shonda, doing their thing on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all check him out for the best live reaction videos going on the YouTube, going down right now. I know he got rained out yesterday with those Braves, and hopefully, I don't know whether you're doing the 7:00 game or are you going to try to do the game 7 tonight, but either way, y'all make sure y'all check him out. He said, what's up, Steve? Have a great stream. Appreciate you, brother. Hashtag Rise Up Content Creators. 11-6 Falcons are the second seed in the NFC, and we and only need 2 wins to make it to the land of milk and honey, the Super Bowl. But will we make it? Well, we'll see. I do have to correct you, though. That was the formula before. Now, if you remember, now that we have 7 teams, even the second seed teams play on wild card weekend. So we would have to win wild card weekend, division weekend, and the championship. Now, that was the pattern um when we got to the Super Bowl the first time. So we would have to have those 3. We would have to have 3 wins in order to get to the Super Bowl. Demetrius says the Cowgirl fans are some of the most delusional fans I've ever seen. They swear they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. I don't know, man. They got something in the water. They got something in the water for sure. Absolutely. Mark says not just smoking of the weed. Speaking of Stephen A. Smith, I know he's cowering over right now as his New York Knicks bit it hard today against the Indiana Pacers. I mean, everybody got hurt at the same time, man. That's just hard luck. But guess what? Hawks fans, Falcon fans, Atlanta fans have no sympathy for New York teams. Tough cookie. Jamal D is here. What's going on, Jamal? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Again, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Greg says we are definitely a competent quarterback away from a 10-win season. For multiple seasons, it's supposed to have been 7-9. I'm sorry, 7-10, 9-8, and 10-7, showing improvement. But Arthur Smith's ego and stubbornness blocked our team's growth. And some would even say the decisions at quarterback, thinking we were kind of set last year, may have cost Arthur Smith his job. I said it earlier last year when they named Desmond Ridder as the quarterback, and no, we're not trying to inquire about. And Lamar Jackson was a pipe dream. Let's face it. Let's not try to pretend like that was realistic. But we weren't going to get anywhere, unfortunately, with a very suspect Desmond Ridder at quarterback. J Bod's in the house. What's going on, J Bod? Good to see you. He said, my expectations are a top 5 offense. I feel good about this defense, so a top 10 defense and at least 1 playoff win record. I expect at least 10-7. That'll work. That'll work. And Greg says C is his choice as well. Demetrius says, imagine a prime Shaq versus a prime Joker in today's NBA. But here's the thing. You would have to say, give me prime. Whose era are you playing in? See, because Shaq, if you bring Shaq, Jokic would bring Shaq out that middle. And I think it was Shannon Sharp who brought it up. And I don't even think he was trying to be nasty or whatever. Y'all remember, Shaq was only in shape about 4 or 5 years of that major run with the Lakers. He was in young shape with Orlando. If Shaq had paid attention and really got himself together, Lakers would have won by 4 or 5 straight. Easy. Because he was a dominating dude. But the Joker is no man. Jokic is a fool, man. Jokic is really good. He's really well. He wouldn't play that well against Olajuwon. He wouldn't. But says who? Says who? Y'all looking at figures. Y'all looking at muscles and all of that stuff, and think that's the game all the time. It's not. Jokic is not a picture of great physique, but easily over the last 3 to 4 years, the most important person in basketball. I don't know. Marina says, I think Gilligan's Island stayed on too long. They should have stopped after they didn't get off that island that second year or so. They did a show even like in the early 80s where they finally got off the island and they celebrated them and then they ended up getting back on the island. It was kind of funny. Antonio, what's going on, man? He said, what's up, unpopular opinion, but Shaq is not funny. He's actually kind of corny. Yeah, Shaq is not as entertaining as Charles Barkley by far, and he's definitely not as entertaining. Sometimes I think Kenny Smith knows between Shaq and Barkley, he's not in their league. Kenny Smith was nice, but Kenny Smith was not even close to the two there. Yes, he won his rings with Olajuwon, but and he was a North Carolina legend. Give him credit for that. But as far as he can't match up. Shaq, I don't know if, and I think that's why they brought Shaq on there for, of course, credibility. But Shaq has some human moments where he's kind of funny on there. I think sometimes he takes himself a little too seriously. I think the whole Jokic thing, if you ask me, I thought he was. There is zero wrong with you giving your opinion, Shaq. Nobody said you can't give your opinion. But it did come out as a little haterade when you were just, you're kind of tripling down on Shy who's out the playoffs now.
Well, they were the number one seed. They were the number one seed in the NBA.
They tied the record. They both had 57 wins. It was some quirky division record that won the number one seed for him.
Well, he couldn't have done what I did back in the day, and I dominated. Because I was the Shaq master. I was in Shaq Fu with the Fu Sticknings.
And I don't know. And I do like Shaq. Don't get me wrong. Shaq is awesome. Shaq is good. Shaq is probably not going to be mistaken for Dave Chappelle, but I don't think that's really his role. I don't think it is. I really don't. Augusta Gator, man, what's going on? I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing, brother? Good to see you in here. Say 3 months till the season. Absolutely. Look who's in here, too. Another content creator in the house. One time for the fan, my brother Jack Spade and the fellas over there. The rise up is real. Chat, hit the like button. I appreciate that. I'll need you to do me a favor, too. Those of you who want to go participate in the Rise Up Nation tour, Jack is gonna put that link. I put it in there last time, Jack. I don't know if I still have it, and I think for some reason it didn't go in there right. Put your link in there for the Rise Up tour so people can go over there. You can find it one or two ways. If he puts the link in here, you can do that, or y'all can go over to One Time for the Fan. I think they might even come on tonight. I'm not sure. But y'all check out One Time for the Fan over there with Jack and company. They do it right over there all the time. Guns and Saints says your Falcons slogan should be like this: Falcons rise up, Falcons fall down. What goes up must come down. Wow. He has a lot of jokes on here. That was kind of funny. He wrote all that himself. It rhymed. It was great. This is a team that had the nerve to pull out Jameis Winston last year. So I don't know. Let's see how that humor lasts in 2024. I don't think it's going to be lasting forever. I tell you what, Cameron Jordan and the fellas, that stuff ain't gonna last forever. Enjoy it while you have it. Dexter Owen says, I gamble a lot, so I'm gonna find a way to watch the games without the NFL ripping us off. Look, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I hear a lot about the little what he just called the stick and stuff like that. So y'all make sure y'all just don't get in trouble. That's all I say. Kenneth, again, Kenneth is just, I mean, he is just,
We're just ordinary cuties.
just that never-ending
We don't know which way to throw.
tribute to Desmond Ritter.
'Cause we're just ordinary QBs.
He still has his Desmond
Think it's
jersey.
time for us to go. Time to go.
I'll be willing to bet you Kenneth helped Desmond move to Arizona. I'll tell you right now. I'm sure he did. That was. Oh man. I will get that song is dedicated to my brother Kenneth.
I don't think we can grow.
Woo. Shout out to Kenneth and his love for Desmond Ritter. Antonio says, I've checked out The Simpsons about 20 years ago, and it's still, I checked out on The Simpsons 20 years ago, and it's still on. You know, I hate to sound not as, what? I never really got into The Simpsons. Is that crazy? I never really got into them. So I don't know. I never did. But I mean, I got into the very first one where they had the Christmas thing. But I never really wasn't a big Simpsons person. I don't know. Dexter says, I gamble a lot. I promise. Oh, did I do that? I promise a lot. I'm going to find a way to watch my money go up or down. And the NFL want to be ripping me off watching. We're going to find a way to watch the games for free. I don't care what they do. I see you. Go for it, man. Go for it. Go for it. Augustus says they jumped the shark when they left the island. They jumped the shark when they left the island. Gray says, we've seen Barkley and Shaq cut weight and become dominant. Why can't Zion Williamson do the same? That weight on his body is eventually going to destroy his frame, i.e. see Greg Holder. Here's the thing. I actually liked, I actually did like Zion this year because he did come back and, lost a little bit of weight. And he was good. Listen, before he got hurt, I'm trying to tell you, he was pretty good. He was pretty good. So, yeah, Greg Oden is a good example of somebody who was a little out of shape there. Another content creator in the house, my brother in arms, Tiny Jones, a.k.a. Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure y'all check the Atlanta Bird Gang out on YouTube and on Facebook. Make sure y'all join the greatest Atlanta Falcons fan group on Facebook. That's also under the name of Atlanta Bird Gang. He said, Saved by the Bell stayed on too long. Wow. Once they got to those college years, it had lost its magic and allure. That's kind of funny you say that, because anytime you start seeing them probably grow a little bit, I think I don't know. I feel the same. I feel the same way. The first couple of years of them were good. Then you kind of knew when they start making the little TV movies. Then they go to Vegas or something before they did the college years, and it just wasn't the same. It was not the same, not at all. I agree wholeheartedly, and I love Saved by the Bell. I think Saved by the Bell got me through some of the Army. I think that came out when I was in the Army, I think. And when I say that, I mean, you're 18, 19, 20. So those that used to be on. So. Demetri said the Shaq impersonation is spot on. I was trying, man. I was trying. Dexter said Shaq ain't nothing but a big child. Jokic's good, but he's not better than Embiid if he can stay healthy. Embiid, best big man in the game. Here's the problem. Nobody's denying that Embiid is a beast. But as you said before, Dexter, he got to stay on the field. I'm sitting here telling people, if you didn't see Sam Bowie play in Kentucky, Sam Bowie was a beast in Kentucky. But he got to the league and couldn't stay healthy. Grant Hill, as much as he got an opportunity to play and eventually get a ring, I think with San Antonio, as kind of a reserve or whatever, Grant Hill was probably the next it guy. He was going to be the next it guy when he came in, but he couldn't stay healthy. And if you stay healthy, that's the only way we can see you. Embiid, I can't keep giving Embiid what ifs. You got to stay out there. Because the guys who are on the field, on the court, they get all the love. Y'all can talk about how out of shape Jokic is all day. Jokic stay out there. And for the most part, plays dang near 40 minutes every game. So yeah, I hear you, best big man in the game. If he could stay out there. Absolutely. Juan said this Shaq write that Saints joke. Oh man, you wrong for that. You wrong. Oh man. Juan said somebody get Derek Carr ghost account out of here. But you know those Saints fans ain't got nothing else to do, man. You know, they look, Saints fans can't troll anybody. They ain't been in the playoffs the same couple of years we ain't been in the playoffs. Since Drew Brees left, they have been pretty suspect. And thank goodness we got one game from them last year. Shouldn't have, we shouldn't have lost to them 2 years ago. We had the 2-touchdown lead and let them come back. Demetrius says Saints fans need to come back and talk trash when they get a real QB. That's true. That's true. Y'all are wrong, man. Y'all. Oh man. Guns and Saints says, Demetrius, you Falcons need to talk trash when you get a real head coach. I think we got one this time, no Guns and Saints. I'm not gonna lie to you. You could have used that joke maybe at the beginning of 2023. You could have, but it's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard. And I don't know how you can not. Arthur Smith was a lot of things, but he really kind of stunted this team a couple of years. He stunted this team, I think. Yeah. Dexter says Embiid would have won the MVP this year too if he didn't get hurt. Was averaging 30 and 12 before injury. First center to do so. Jokic is good. I just think Embiid is better when they face off. And you're right. There's probably not anything wrong about what you're saying. I think my point is, but you gotta be on the field. When we get to sometimes these scenarios when people get hurt, the year Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl a couple of years. Brock Purdy got hurt in the second play. Do you think there were anybody in Philadelphia feeling sorry for Brock Purdy getting hurt? No. I mean, it's as easy as that. You can't work on hypotheticals. He's not there. He's not there. J-Bod says, I get Sunday ticket. I live in Savannah and closer to the Jaguars market. Oh, okay. So if the Falcons and Jags play on the same channel, the Jags game is show. Wow. And me missing the Falcons game is not an option. See, you're in dead man's land over there off the coast. I know in Columbus, where a lot of my family is, they used to get most of the Atlanta games. in there. But who else did they showed somebody else that was kind of their local team as well. So I don't know. I'm gonna bring in a guest in here. It's my brother, Big Low Country Sports is in the house. What's going on, man? Let me take the honor of saying, what in the world, Bo?
What in the world, Bo? What's going on with y'all?
I don't know, man. I'm chilling on a Sunday, man, trying to
Hey.
just start up a little chat with the folks here. We got a Saints person in here that's stirring up some trouble, but for the most part, I think we kind of quieted them down. What's going on with you on this beautiful Sunday evening?
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I hope you don't mind. I actually use you as an alibi. Coach Ronda's Coach Ronda's been having me working all day. So I was like, look, Uncle Steve live. Can I go chill out with my friend? And she was like, I guess. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, look, don't get me in trouble now, because I don't need Coach Ronda calling Aunt Kira and then having so the next thing I know, I'm taking out trash on your behalf. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna put you up the bat here in a couple of seconds. I'm gonna run down a couple more of these chats, and folks are being so kind on the chats. Our brother Antonio James says, married with children's last few years was terrible. And that's one of the questions. I'm going to throw that question at you since he put that up. Name a TV show that stayed on one season too long. Talk to me, Lo.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I don't.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'm sorry. Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap was a really good. I loved Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
That was a really good. He just died recently.
He
right?
did?
No, not Scott Bakula.
Oh, you talking about
what was the computer guy?
Yeah. He did. He did just pass away.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I think he passed away.
Yeah.
Just recently. Got a super chat in here, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Yeah, you like that.
Wait, the laugh at the end? Like, what was the laugh? What's the laugh at the end? Hold on. Wait, what?
That was a little.
I'll tell you one thing, that for real was not for real. Like, I can tell you that. I can I guarantee that.
You know you jealous. You know you jealous of my for real.
Oh, okay. Where you come up with these things?
Don't hate on my for real, man. Don't do that, man. I think you throw a little haterade in there. What's up to Ron Thomas, man, under April Thomas. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining me and Big Low here on Uncle Steve's Lounge on the Sunday Chill in here. So I'm gonna ask you the questions real quick, Low. We gonna talk about one, your choices for the Falcons this year as far as expectation, not so much record, but expectations realistically. The choices are A, a winning record, B, the NFC South title, C, at least one playoff win, D, the Super Bowl, or E, same old Falcons under 500 again.
I mean, that's one of them situations where, to be completely honest with you, so it's like, do you legitimately go from being under 500 and your expectations to be to win the Super Bowl? I mean, as fans, like you said earlier,
that's me.
You know, as fans, you know, like, yes, we want to win the Super Bowl. Like, that's, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand with the conversation that you're having about all the streams and spending money to go all these games. Shout out to the Rise Up tour.
Yes,
But
sir.
the fact of the matter is that realistic expectations. My expectation is to win the NFC South and to win a playoff game. That's my expectation.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. That's fair
Yes.
enough. I really think that's kind of see. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. See, this I'm gonna get started right. See, every time Low when I start singing, Low bringing that old dog in there to start. Low bringing the dog in.
Your voice is messing with her ears.
No, man.
You start howling.
No,
like,
man. You bring the dog in to quote unquote dog me out.
No, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that.
You do that to me every time, man. Why you bringing the dog in here?
I ain't bringing dog in there. She just came in here. She just came in because she heard something. She thought I was under attack. She was like, "Oh, what's going on? You okay, Daddy?" Like I was like, "Oh, it's all right."
Okay. So also, while we got you, let's talk about that streaming games. We were talking about that. And I know you heard some of the conversation. Again, being from the old school, I think some people kind of, I hear people's maybe problems saying, yeah, they trying to stream games, make money, whatever. But realistically, folks, free TV has only given us 3 to 4 games a week anyway.
Yeah.
In the last, I mean, all the way back to when we were young, when it was little low country, all the way up to now. I mean, you had the 2 major networks at that time was CBS and NBC.
Yeah.
One of those 2 had the doubleheader, so that was 3 games. And then you got Monday Night Football on ABC, so that was 4. Now, fast forward to today, on free TV, you're still talking about the same amount of games. So for people to keep saying, no, the NFL is trying to gouge you. No, in my opinion, I think the NFL is saying, okay, if you want to watch stuff that's outside your zone, then you might have to pay for it.
Exactly.
So, I say all that, but I want to get your opinion more than.
I think the NFL just being opportunistic. You know, they know that at this point in time, I mean, it's not like it was in the 90s and the 80s. You know, normally, well, I wouldn't say that because I went to school with a lot of kids who had Cowboys and Pittsburgh starter jackets. Like I said, you know, there was a lot of people who were fans of other teams. We played Tecmo Bowl and they want the 49ers. But I mean, with that being said, now I feel like as many transients as you have now and as many people who live in different places, more people are going to want to see more games outside of the area that they live in.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, I mean, look, if you want to see it, you got to pay for it. Right?
Bottom line.
It's like if you want to get on a plane and fly to Vegas, you got to pay for it. Like it's just like somebody said earlier in the chat, man. It's capitalism at its finest.
I think that might have been me that said that. Jack, check your inbox, Jack. If you're still on there, Jack Spade, check your inbox for me. Raymond Collins is in the house. What's going on, sir? He said, "What's up, Unc, Low, and all the Falcons people?" Jamal D said 2.5 men stayed on too long. And that's one of those deals. He also said Walking Dead, and I'm gonna tell you something about that in a second. 2.5 men was one of those deals. Anytime you have to change a main character, the majority of the time you're probably on longer than you should. I don't know. There are a few situations where they changed main characters and the show either stayed the same or got better. But when you got rid of Charlie Sheen,
it was over.
No, it wasn't the same show.
And
as far as Walking Dead realization in the lounge, never watched the episode.
We did. Well, see, the zombies scare me. I can't do the zombie thing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't. It's not even so much for that because I used to. What was the movie with Tony Todd? What was the movie? Night of the what was the movie where they were eating the brains in the 80s?
Oh yeah.
Not was it Night of the Living Zombies? What was the name of that
Something
movie?
like that. Night of the
Something
Living
like
Dead.
that. That I mean, yeah, I'm probably just not a zombie person. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm probably not.
Yeah.
Christy is in the house. How you doing, Miss Christy? Good to see you. Good to see you in here. One time for the fan also chimed in and said, Walking Dead is one of them shows.
I heard a lot of people say that. A lot of people say it ran its course way too long.
That's crazy. I have never. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, I know Coach Ronnie used to watch it, but I couldn't never get into it. Yeah,
I didn't get in. I didn't get into it too.
I couldn't go with it. Yeah.
Did you ever watch Riverdale?
Never watched Riverdale.
I can tell you about the Riverdale characters from the book, Archie and Jughead and everything like that, but I never watched the. I never watched the.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Riverdale, Atlanta, shoelace and bow tie. Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about them characters.
No,
Pippin.
That was actually a show.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a show.
Okay, I just had to make sure you were talking about Yellowbone Smitty, and I got the. Did you see that show?
Which one?
All right, okay. So the story about a week and a half ago.
Okay,
Smitty was doing the show, and I think somebody said something.
Shout out to Smitty on
Smitty
Sports Machine.
Smitty Sport Machine. Somebody mentioned Birdo, and they mentioned Birdo's skin complexion because we started calling him Birdo Pecan, right?
Tell me Birdo Pecan. That's right.
Yeah. So Smitty was like, "Yeah, man, us yellow guys, we gotta stick together." And I was like, "Who yellow?"
Yeah, Smitty looking in that mirror too hard. Smitty
who yells? I'm still looking for it. I'm still looking.
Smitty ain't in that category.
Yeah. So every time I see him, or I see him online, or I be like, I call Yellowbone Smitty because he think he yellow.
It's so funny because I know people are sensitive to that. Some people are sensitive to that back in the day, but I'll tell you though, back in the day, if you had a little light skin on you, they used to flock. They used to flock. And y'all think the Bards got all the people buying them records because they were good, they were that good?
So they were flocking up.
They were.
No, they weren't doing like that.
Look. Bobby the Bards talking about I'll call your name. I got a 10, girl. That's right. Light skin rules, man. Light skin rules. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, when did it change? Like, when did it? Because I know, they said was it Western Sites that changed everything?
You know what? And good that our brothers and sisters came back in. I think Black Panther kind of brought it way back and made people really look at things again. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There was a time the Stacey Lattisaws of the world. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Stop fronting. Y'all know good and well when Stacey came out talking about "Let me be your angel," and like Stacey, that's the little white girl. No. Stacey. Everybody likes Stacey.
Man.
Tell me when I'm lying. tell me when I'm lying.
But look, everybody that's in the chat, the next time Smitty goes live, make sure you put Yellowbone Smitty in there for me if I'm not in there. If you could, I would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. I got. Oh man. Speaking of which, let me get down here. Drew says, "Do you guys ever see any local sports bars or restaurants that will show the string game?" Absolutely, Drew. It's a lot of. If you go to most, and I know here the closest one to here is they always 92.9 The Game. It's right down the street. I can't think what the bar is. Anyway, most bars usually have NFL ticket.
Yeah.
So they usually stream the games and you can go to different you can see different games, you can request the games down here. So yeah, you could do that. You could do that as well. That's our song. Our brother Berto is in the house. He said y'all give Berto some love. Got a special song. Got a special song for Berto. It's called Redbone. They won't. The Falcons creeping. Gonna find ya. Get to sleeping. They won't. The Falcons creeping.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where you coming?
That song is dedicated to Berto up in Rhode Island.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you gotta go back to work, man. You got too much time on your
Right.
hands. It's like, what in the world? How did you think of this? Like where? What in the world?
Hey man. Hey, sometimes when you got a lot of free time on your hands, he ain't got nothing else to do, man. That's what shit.
Man, please.
Oh man. My brother Kenneth says Taco Mac has the game. So yeah, I've seen Taco Mac.
Yeah. I know Jay Bod, he said he's in Savannah. You know, I grew up near Savannah. And yeah, I mean, one thing, especially in the mid-90s, whenever the Jaguars came into town, it took a lot of the Falcons games away from us because we're right there in the middle between Jacksonville and Atlanta. And I never forget, like, we went to the mall and like the Jaguars, they had like this I guess this thing where they're trying to drum up new fans. And I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna lose some Falcons games. And that next season, like, we only caught like 5 games. So we had to look in the newspaper to see what happened.
Wow. Hey man, you had to get the info how you got it, right? That's how it used to be. I mean, it's so that's why when I say, today in a streaming world, and it's not just football. I mean, you start talking about even from a sense of, and I know we dealt with it more in the pandemic when you start talking about movies, for a minute there, a lot of those movies that had already been made, they just went on and threw them and say, hey, you buy the Max channel, you'll be able to see that movie next week instead of at the theater. Yeah. I think it's going to come to a day, Lo, and it's probably coming soon, that when movies come out, they're going to start pay-per-viewing movies at home.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's coming. And I'm surprised they didn't do more of that during the pandemic. I think people were probably feeling sorry for folks because, you couldn't get out and you couldn't do this, so we're going to give it to you. But I think it's going to be a day that you're going to come out maybe about, I don't know, maybe 5 years from now. And let's say the Avengers come out again, the next version. And they're going to say, we're going to show it at the movies, but also for $49.99. And the reason you have to hike it up like that is because, you can have shows at your house and 10 people can get in.
That's it.
But if you want to do that, folks are going to be on that, man. Folks are going to be all over that. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. While I got my brother Low on here, I'm gonna put the link here in the chat real quick. Let a couple of y'all come on here. We're gonna ask the questions of y'all real quick. Again, running through them one more time. Atlanta Falcons expectations. You got them. You see them scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Also, TV shows that stayed one season too long. I need to get that out of everybody. Honestly, before we left, I was thinking, I was telling everybody Moonlighting was my choice. I thought
Oh,
Moonlighting as great. Moonlighting the first couple of years was so awesome, and then you almost were force fed uh later on.
yeah,
It's almost like you felt like it was forced when you came in
exactly,
there.
exactly. Now,
We
does
gotta hold on a
oh,
second,
I'm
Lo.
sorry.
I apologize. This
No
now
problem.
it's now you'll see what I'm talking about. That unlike the uninvited guest in your house that come barking through, this guest was invited. And he showed up. And I'm gonna give him all the love in the world for jumping on the lounge. That's my brother Jack Spade from One Time for the Fan.
What's going on? What's going
What
on,
is
everybody?
going on, my friend?
Hey, man, it's going well right here for
Greatest
everybody.
podcaster in the world.
Oh,
Hey.
you remember that too, Country? Big shout out to Country, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, content creators in the chat too as well. Big shout out to you all. Uncle Steve, thank you for this opportunity here to come talk Falcons football with the chat real quick. But yeah, everything is going good over here where I'm at. Hope you guys are doing well. Everybody's great.
Everybody's
I'm tired,
good, my
man.
brother.
Coach Ronnie
First
had me
of
looking
all,
all day.
before we go any further, one, tell them about your channel. Tell them about the Rise Up tour. Last week I tried to put your link in there, I think unsuccessfully, and so instead of
It's
look,
all right.
my technical skills are horrible. So I want you to tell everybody because I get excited hearing about what you guys are doing, and I know with the schedule just coming out. Please let the folks on my platform know what's going on so we can all be on the same page this year.
Oh yeah, One Time for the Fan every Sunday. No show tonight, but every Sunday, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And then Friday mornings, breakfast with One Time for the Fan at 9 a.m. We do some pop-up shows in between too as well. Big shout out to the Rise Up content creators community because we do a lot for the Falcon fans. We want to make sure everybody's energized and engaged going forward this season because the season is going to be, I think, amazing for this fan base, and we can do a lot of big things here with this team. But then again, for the Rise Up Tour fan club, we've been doing it for about 7 years. Every away game that the Falcons play, no matter what city it is, we just try to put on events and parties, other things that we try to do for fans when on their road to get a road fan game experience instead of like being at home at the Benz, which most of our season ticket holders, they go to the Benz, they tailgate. They hang out with their friends, then they go to their section, they sit down, they cheer, they go home. On the road, it's a little bit different. Fans kind of like to link up wherever they're at, no matter if it's at a mall, restaurant. It could be Country, you've seen it, bar,
course.
lounge, golf course, no matter where it is. We have a pretty big group of Falcon fans that love to travel only to away games, fans that live in the city, fans that live outside the city. But of course, this year, Vegas, Denver, Minnesota, who else? Washington, and then of course our division rivals. We'll have away games. We'll have away game parties planned for all fans, like we've been doing in the past. Country, you was not only a content creator, but you are a admin too with the Rise Up Tour fan club. And Country has done a great job of supporting the fan club and of course telling everybody about what we got going on. But Country's also been on the ground with us in like Tennessee and London, New Orleans, and a lot of these cities that he's been a part of the experience. So
What in the world? That was
sheesh. What's up, Aunt?
I have a question. Do you give administrative duties to Mr. Lowe in your? You trust him with those type of responsibilities?
Yeah. So
what in the
Country,
world? Hold on.
Country is a is a unique admin. He's
See, the mere fact that it took him more than 6 seconds to get that out, because I'm gonna tell you what happened. And first, before I go any further, another illustrious content creator on our screen right below me. You see my brother Mark Cheney in the house. What is going on, Mark?
Up,
How
Mark?
you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's
going on,
What's
boss?
up, fellas? Hey, I'm doing good, man. Just happy to be here. Just happy to be here.
Mark, are you still doing Bleacher Report as well, my friend?
Yeah. Still on Bleacher Report. Still going hard. Got a show on the 29th on the Hawks. So, it's a big year for Atlanta sports, man. Huge year for Atlanta sports.
Huge.
it's a huge year, and I'm gonna let you have the platform for 1 second, but I wanted to go back to a story. Jack failed to mention that I was also in London as well, and when I saw Jack in a slightly inebriated form that day, and I asked Jack, I said, "Hey man, have you seen Lowe?" And he said, as he stumbled into my arms, said, "Hey, look up, look up, look up there next to up to King Charles. He's up there right between King Charles and Prince George up there.
Wow.
So go check him out.
Wow.
And still, so we don't have the money that Lowell has, but I'm sure that can somehow kind of help us enjoy ourselves on the road.
So when it goes to the country being an admin, let's go to London situation or last year, where country, we talked about the party in London, and we decided that we did not want to really tackle the party in London because we're not from London, right? Yeah. It's very difficult to get fans to go to your area where you're going to be at for this party if they don't even know what is going on in London and how they move around. Right. But country, who was traveling with us, he said, "No, we got this. Let's just trust in the team. Let's trust in our ambassador who was in London." Big shout out to Thomas Scott. Big shout out to the rest of everybody with the Rise Up Tour, the admins, the whole crew. But when Darren called us that Thursday night and said we have the location, and Friday we put the flyer out, and then Saturday we showed up to the event. Country, you was one of the people that showed up first to the event. Yeah. You gave me a call and said, "Jack, there's no room to sit." And I said, "What do you mean there's no room to sit?" He said, "There's too many Falcon fans in here." I said, "Wait a minute, hold on." I said, "Wait." I said, "We just put the flyer out yesterday in some random area in London, Waterloo, I think it was, country, Waterloo,
Waterloo in some random tunnel,
some random tunnel. Here, country said some random tunnel that had a bar with enough space to hold 300 Falcon fans, and that's what we brought to London. It's about 300 plus Falcon fans.
There were more than 300 people in there, boy. It was crazy. As a matter of fact. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I apologize. So what does that tell you about the popularity of the Rise Up Tour? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that not only I brought you on here to talk about it, Jack, but I just wanted you to stories like that I want you to make sure you put out. I'd heard about it, obviously. And when I went to London, I didn't get a chance to try to hook up. And all kidding aside, it was real cool to run into you during that time. But just to hear people talk about it, it makes me feel like, dang, I want to be a part of that. And so I just really wanted to put that out there real quick. And before y'all go any further, I got a super chat here on the line. Let me get this on here.
Brother play the
Jamal.
Song again. Play the song. I love the song.
Me out of my mind. That
Steve is killing it.
Kill this rhyme. I'll read your super chat. Left, right, read it. That chat is.
Hey, everybody who subscribed to One Time for the Fan, we about to step it up. We about to step it up. The next podcast show, I'm gonna have lights and lasers. Animals gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
Steve, that is wild.
Give some love to Jamal D. Appreciate you. Say, gonna do my best to make week 1 this year, fellas. Kick Artie Smith between the washer and dryer in Bigelow fashion. Hello. That's what we're gonna do. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Now, Jack and Mark, I got to put y'all both to the test real quick with these questions. Y'all cannot come on here and not answer the questions. So I need both of y'all to put your thinking caps on. I'm gonna start with you, Mark. I appreciate you. Current realistic expectations for the 2023-24 season. Now, let me make it clear that we all want the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in any of our minds. Is that correct? Sure.
Correct.
Realistic expectations for the 2024 Falcons. Is it going to be A, a winning record, B, NFC South title, C, at least one playoff win, D, Super Bowl, or E, same old Falcons under 500 again? It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I need to answer. Let's go, Mark. You first.
I'm going to say, if we're going to be realistic, we got to win the South, man. We got to win the South. I think, you know, we're one of the most improved teams in the NFC, one of the most improved teams in the NFL. So I think the least we can do is beat up on a bad division. And I think it's safe to say we had the best quarterback in our division. So I think if we're being realistic, you know, we're trying to put the fandom to the side. I think the Falcons should win the South, man.
And when you say best quarterback, are you meaning Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix?
I think we had the best quarterback in the division. I think we had the best quarterback room in the NFL.
There you go. We can go with that one. We can go with that one. Absolutely. Talk to me.
Don't add Jack.
Go ahead, Lo.
I'm just saying, don't ask Jack that question.
Oh, I gotta ask Jack the question.
There's no Jack is saying D right there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, don't ask that question, man. The most positive Atlanta Falcons fan in the world.
The people want to know.
That's Eric Parker, boy. Yeah.
What is the answer to
that? You know, this question is a great question too, as well. For me, Raheem talked about punching. You know, once you get to the playoffs, you punch your ticket. You know what I'm saying, to play for that Super Bowl. Outrunning the South and some of the words that he said to the team and the fan base. I'm going to go with that NFC South title for right now at this moment. And of course, the NFC South title does mean that you have punched your ticket to go make your way to the Super Bowl. See, country, I had to put both of those in there so fans can know that I'm a diehard Falcon fan, right? I can see the pros and cons of this team, right, and of the organization. But I also see that this team this year is built for success, right? And in the past with Mariota and Ritter and the team that was around those two quarterbacks, I couldn't really say that. I was talking to a fan today, and I thought about how I was thinking about the team with Mariota and Ritter, and my expectations were a little bit too high because of those two quarterbacks. But with Kirk Cousins, it's a little bit different now. Like I've seen Kirk play, right? I've seen his stats, right? I've seen what he can do with Minnesota. I've seen what he done with Washington too as well. And it wasn't the greatest situation for him, but I've also seen the fan base rally around Kirk, right, from Washington to Minnesota. And I think having a quarterback like Kirk here in Atlanta, which we've had Matt Ryan for many years, fans can see that, you know, if Kirk is healthy this year, 100% healthy, you're going to get a shot at winning the division. You're going to get a shot at having a winning record. You're going to get a shot at an NFC South title. And then you're going to get a shot at possibly playing for an NFC championship game and the Super Bowl. I mean, his comments that he said to the Masters, NBC Sports earlier this year about having his team ready to play against like the 49ers, like that type of level, right? Because the 49ers have been consistent of making the playoffs and to the NFC championship game in the past few years. That's where Kurt's mindset is, right? We have to be better than the 49ers, not the doggone Panthers. Ain't nobody talking about the Panthers. Right. You got to be better than the team that everybody's expected you to lose to, which is right now the 49ers. I think the Packers are showing up pretty well in the NFC. Some people would say the Cowboys are looking good this year, but I don't think so. So to hear Kurt's comments about where he thinks this team could be mentally by the time the season starts, of wanting to go play for that big game, I'm all in, and I'm going to go with the NFC South title for this one.
One of the things I noticed that you went by and Lo and I had a little small debate at the beginning of the season, and keep in mind, y'all, and I think I'm older than all of y'all. I might not. I'm not sure. I know Mark, but I probably am. Unfortunately, I have been kind of seasoned with a little bit of pessimism and a little bit of just, I've seen this picture before.
Yeah.
Last year, I got criticized so badly when I would make my eyeball test of what I saw of our quarterback room, really of 22 and 23. And there was no hate intended on that, but I just didn't see it, guys. I just didn't see the talent. It wasn't that it was personal, but I didn't see it. This year, I'm here to tell you, even if number 9 comes onto the field this year, I feel leaps and bounds better than I felt in 22 and 23. Lo, do you kind of get what I'm saying in that sense?
Yes, I mean the last 2 years, and we can even go back even farther. The last 3 years, 4 years, we keep going into the season saying if we keep saying if Desmond Ritter could cut down the turnovers or keep the turnovers to a minimum. We keep saying if whenever Marcus Mariota is the quarterback, we could run the ball efficiently and play, top 15 defense. We keep saying if Matt Ryan could get the ball out efficiently and quickly enough, and our defense could get more than 25 sacks. We kept saying if, and y'all know my famous saying, if we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Now this year, it's like we keep. I mean, we're like there's no doubt. Like nobody's coming in saying if. Like this is the first time in a long this has like 2017 energy. Like everybody's coming in like, oh yeah, well we got the best quarterback in the division. We got Mark just said it. We got the best quarterback room in the league. We just improved our defense. We had the most improved defensive line in the NFL. We have, can we say, the most improved head coach situation in the NFL?
Woo! Hello.
I mean, so it's like so.
Hello.
So there's no more ifs. We're talking. Let's take it TLC, actual and factual. Like we're talking.
Oh man! Hold on. Ring the bell. I'm at it. Don't tell me to follow.
What is that?
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Actual and factual.
See, here's the difference, Jack. I'm do it off the top of my head. Yeah. There's a little ghetto thesaurus right there in front of Low that Coach Roney brings to him right there on the side.
Not the paper slider.
The paper slide. I'm trying to. You remember the little index cards we used to have in school? She got all the index card numbers. Use this tape. Now you're on with Uncle Steve, so you're gonna have to have vocabulary. We're gonna.
Yo. Yeah, not the cheat sheet.
Got the cheat sheet.
Dang, oh boy.
Hey, big shout outs to a lot of folks joining us in here, and I've been running by the comments. Brother John Marino is in the house. Bobby's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Philip Crawford is in here. Winning the South. We have the quarterback that can deliver the ball and to playmakers. Guns and Saints still trying to do some stuff. I don't know why.
His name is Guns and Saints. Like
he's doing.
He got a hate in his heart. When I was in New Orleans, I was trying to find him.
Look at the haters, man.
I was trying to find him.
Wait, he wasn't outside of Denny's on Bourbon Street?
No,
you seen outside of
Denny's? They were wandering aimlessly around the bayou, and I rode all around there looking for him. I gave the guy $20 extra to stay out for 15 more minutes, and
wow,
we could never find him.
I mean, from my knowledge of being down there in New Orleans, if it's Friday between 5 and 7, they're outside of the Harris, right over there.
Outside on the steps.
On the steps.
Yeah, on the steps. Yeah.
Our brother cake. Vinny is in the house too. What's going on, Vinny? How you doing? He says, and Big Low on the same show. You must have a budget increase. Yeah, I know, man. What
that supposed to mean?
Well, if you want me to show the cash app that you said, show first before you. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it to you verbatim. It says, "Hey, Unc, as usual, times are hard in the yard over here. Coach Roney says she want to go to Longhorns tonight. So for a minimum fee, please let me on your show. $50 for less."
It's funny you said the cheat sheet because my daughter just came in here and slid me a note same time too as well. Like, okay, well,
okay, so she's in on it too, right?
So go ahead and read it, Jack, because you know what Jack say on every show.
No, this one says she's looking for. They need the keys. They need the car keys.
You got to go.
I thought Jack gonna look. I thought Jack gonna be like, it's going down in the major way, Falcons fans, because
we're not holding you back from domestic duties, are we?
Nah, we're good. Got some remodeling going on tonight, so they're just gonna move some cars around, but we're good.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure and stuff. Johnny R is in the house. Johnny R says, "What are your thoughts on the new special team rules?" That's kind of an interesting question right there. And thank you, Johnny R, for the question. I'm gonna go to you real quick, Mark. What do you think about the new special team rules, and of course that means they are similar to last year's. Is it USFL or was it XFL?
XFL, I believe.
The XFL kickoff. I know what it looks like, but I couldn't remember what group it was. What are your thoughts on that, Mark? It's going to be hard for people like Devin Hester and folks like that to make the Hall of Fame going forward, in my opinion. But what's your thoughts about those rules?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question from Johnny. Man, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be hard to keep up with that because it's like the ball touches inbounds and you don't return it, the ball goes one place. If it goes over your head, you don't touch it. Like, to me, it's complicated, but I think, it's going to encourage, everyone to stay in their seats. Everyone's going to stay engaged when you're watching the game. And I think that's exciting, and I think it's a learning curve. I think we'll probably all get an idea on how it's going to work by week 1 because we'll see it throughout the preseason. But, yeah, I mean, again, kind of like we were talking about earlier with the NFL and this, what they're trying to do with the streaming and, how Big Low is trying to capitalize, with the cash apps.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to capitalize, man.
Mark. You just go throw me on the
saying. Everybody trying to eat, man. Everybody trying to eat.
Okay. So I guess you team on the team. You jumping on your team. Okay.
We all want to be fans.
See, that was a good point, Mark. But one of the other chatters made a very good point, and I didn't miss that. Our brother Marina had said, "I can't believe Uncle Steve and Big Low let Jack make that quick flex about remodeling the house, moving a few cars around."
Right.
He says need the keys. He says need the keys.
So now what we need to do is let's break that down. First, he's remodeling the house. Again, you don't remodel a house unless you got some house to,
They're working on some things. It's still daylight outside. They're working on some things on the deck.
Wait a minute, because like 4 months ago they was remodeling, right? Like,
we're working on some things on the deck in the backyard. And our Jamaican contractor chooses to work in the evening time, right? So big shout out to our
you just on an island in Brazil? Like, did you just come back from that island you brought in Brazil?
Hey man, I'm part Guyanese too as well, so I do look out for everybody from South America, Latin America, the Caribbean, all over, man.
Right.
Right.
And the other question that the chat wanted to know, just how many cars were your daughters, how many keys was she trying to get to move around? It was
my wife came to
suggestion 2 to 3. I was trying to figure it out.
It's about those 4 cars.
It's 4.
But you gotta pull the cars out to get them ready for tomorrow, whatever car we're driving and so forth. So wife, you gotta have a good support system too as well. My wife is a great support system. She helps me out. Anytime I go live, she got the kids upstairs, they're watching movies, they're hanging out, they're having a good time.
There you go.
But when I go over my 15 minutes of grace after my hour and it goes to 2 hours and 2.5 hours, and when you got Scott Karisic sometimes on your podcast, it's 3.5 hours.
I've seen Scott.
We talk Falcons, but the wife is the greatest, So right now, because I'm doing this podcast, we don't have one at 8. She's just trying to get everything together so the contractor can just bring his supplies and take care of whatever he can. It's still a little bit of daylight out, so
shout out to the wife, man. The wives make the world go round. We appreciate them at all times.
Yeah, we met the wife in London too as well. We was
that's
walking
right.
inside the game in Wembley too as well.
You had the honor of meeting the
I know y'all two seen each other, but I didn't see y'all because I guess I was like down at the bottom of the ship.
No, you were up there with King Charles. Remember the part when they escorted y'all up to the upper?
No, I just remember
the stadium.
No, I just remember y'all pulling up in the black Bentley. I was me and Coach Ronald, we took Pat and Jeff.
I do remember going into Wembley Stadium because the seats were kind of like real close and intimate to the field. So I was looking around like you can see kind of everybody, even in the 200 and the 300. It's like
y'all were close.
Where's country? Where's everybody at? But
I was outside. I was outside.
Sheesh.
My ear up against the building trying to hear what was going on.
Sheesh. For the special team rules, from the Conrad, I'm guessing, because that is in a very expensive hotel. I ain't gonna lie. I looked at the Conrad. I had to go to the next page. That's like, okay, I'm traveling overseas, but
so you saying
no joke.
So you saying Low had some comps with him.
Hey,
And he got
let me
that.
tell you something, man. Lowe's
That's-
perked up over there, man. He's a good guy, man. He ain't gonna stay at no Holiday Inn when he goes out of town. I'll tell you that right now.
What we had was kind of more like Quality Inn. I don't know what that was. We stayed in,
Man,
but I know it was
we
it was
see
across
I
from the
see where you
stadium.
saying
though.
that. Yeah, that's it. It
But
wasn't in the
it-
stadium, wasn't it? You wasn't in the
It wasn't
stadium.
all that, man.
You weren't staying in the stadium like Kanye, was you?
Wasn't
Oh,
in the
no, bro.
stadium?
Oh,
Yeah,
we don't do
I
that.
think Up was staying in the stadium. If I ain't mistaken, I think.
Speaking of staying in the stadium, we're going to Vegas this year. I believe Vegas has a Marriott or some room that is like right out, like connected to the stadium. Apparently, like you can see the game from the. It's kind of like the Battery with the Omni, but I guess the hotels. I don't know if it's connected to the seating bowl or something, because they showed
It's
a
close.
Super Bowl package where the fan was staying in the room apparently, and then
Okay,
you might know what it is. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let me tell you what that was, Jack, because you and my wife
Mhm.
were fooled by that.
Okay.
That was a one-time thing. They
Okay.
offered that as a special room. They
Like a
designed
package.
one of the suites
Yeah.
into a room.
Oh,
And they
okay.
gave it away. And my wife
Wow.
told me, she's like, I saw this thing. It was a black lady, and I think it was her son, I think it was,
Uh-huh.
that were in the room.
Mhm.
And they gave the room away as a special promotion. And my wife saw the same thing. So that's so funny. I'm gonna tell her that you said that, because she saw the same thing. She said, no, they got hotels in the stadium. No, that was a special giveaway, and one of the hotels, they sponsored it.
Yeah.
So it was like you were in their hotel. And
Oh,
brother,
man.
they opened it was like a suite.
It was amazing. It was amazing. You know what we do with the Rise of the Tour fan club? I'm looking at this room like, let me find this room before anybody else does.
Exactly.
Trying to stay here.
Exactly. Your buddy Vinny says, I've been looking at hotels in Green Bay already for next year's draft. Motel 6 is $644 a night.
You also have to fly in, I believe, to either Milwaukee or I think it's Minnesota or one of them, Chicago or something. Then you have to drive over. So I don't know if you want to fly into
I just thought about
that airport too as well. Plus, it's going to be crazy too. I think the Packers Stadium is like in the middle of a field, like in the middle of nowhere.
Is it
But
Madison?
I believe so.
they
It was
are?
outside of East Claire, one of those places over there. But I believe the Falcons play the Packers in Green Bay next year too. So that's going to be exciting to see. I know we play Arizona too as well. But the special teams question,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, like you mentioned about the streaming service, the NFL is
Right.
changing, right?
Yes.
And things are what you've seen in the past is totally different from what you're going to see in the future. But I remember a conversation with Rich McKay he had with some fans about the percentage of kickbacks returned last year, right? And the percentage of kickbacks returned in the XFL with their new rule. So it kind of made the game safer, but there's going to be a lot more kickbacks too as well. I guess the kick returns from what they're looking at. And they do want to see, player safety increase. And I'm all for that because I have some friends that's in the NFL. I don't want to see them get hurt, and for me as a fan, it's new, but that's what happens when you have rule changes. Players have to adapt to it. It's a different environment. But the Falcons, from Avery Williams, if he's on the roster, or Ray McLeod, or McDonald, I'm sorry, was it McLeod or McDonald?
You're right.
If he makes the roster, I mean, who's going to be the kick returner? I don't know. We need to get some yards back because I need to see somebody take one to the house. I think the last one I seen was, man, it's been a while, So I want to see those Allen Rossum days, those Devin Hester days. I want to see some, some kick returns back that's going to give us some yards and set up Kirk in a position where if you're playing over the 50 most of the time with Kirk, you're in scoring position, right? So that's actually good if you can get a guy back there who can, take the ball back a good 15, 20 yards. And for the new special teams setup, the new alignment, I know special teams coach is going to get everybody together on that, but I haven't seen it play yet. I guess Canton is going to be the first time we see it, the Hall of Fame game, when they're going to, do their kickoff return. But I can't wait. Who's going to be the kick returner for the Falcons? That's the question. Who's the kick returner for the Falcons?
Think you'll let Mooney go back there and do anything, or too much money? Too much money.
Pay him too much to go kick return.
4.5 speed, though, right?
I got him on Ray. Some would say Casey Washington. I heard
Casey Washington.
Say Casey Washington too as well. I'm not the coach, but I would love to see during training camp some flashes of some players that we can talk about on the channel. I think camp was going to, they're really going to show a lot of who's going to be the cornerback 2, who's going to punt returner, who's the kick returner, who's the wide receiver 2, 3, and 4. That's why I love those camp days because, we're right there in the front row. So it's like it's good that you get to be that close with the team for 2 weeks. You know, so that's pretty cool.
I remember last year, like you kind of offended Scotty Miller, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But
shit,
yeah,
shit.
Hey, we saw too much of Mike Hughes returning kicks and punt returns, so hopefully we don't have to see that. And then I think a guy we're forgetting about is D. Alford. He was electric returning kicks. Well, returning punts, if I'm not mistaken.
Back in college.
Great punt returner.
Oh, this is a name. Henry says kick returner is Uncle Steve's favorite. Felipe Franks.
Eric Parker. Eric Parker's in the chat. Don't tell that Felipe Franks joke. Please don't.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what y'all missing. Y'all don't. But I'm going to say something contrary to one of the reasons why it's amazing to me that we're even doing the kickoff rules. How many kickoffs have we really seen in the past few years? Now here in Atlanta, because we have Pinion kicking off, how many did we see anybody return from Pinion last year?
Yeah, that's
and I think most teams have that guy that can kick the ball out of the end zone. So it's kind of a little bit of a surprise. And to your point, Jack, you want to keep the game safe because you want to keep your players on the field, and I get all of that. But yeah, I'm all for evolving. I'm all for change for the better. But this is just kind of a head scratcher to me that they move this up so quickly. You're nodding your head up there, Lo. You're nodding like you're saying no to
pineapples. I don't like it.
Yeah,
pineapples. I mean, there are a few things in our society that just don't need to be changed. And to start a football game off, I don't know if anybody's ever lined up on kick coverage, but you line up and you there with your brothers. Y'all finna get ready to haul tail downfield, play your lane. There's a few things in society that just don't need to be changed. And for us to just say, hey, we can't figure out a way to make it safer. I mean, doggone, like some things just ain't safe.
Yeah,
bungee jumping just ain't safe. I don't, skydiving. I mean, it ain't. I mean, you have a pretty good success rate, but it's not necessarily safe. But my whole thing is that if it's one of those cases where we're changing, so you telling me the iconic shot. Just imagine the guys the last 50 years who've been running down the field for the first kickoff for the Super Bowl, how that felt. And you telling me moving on next year, whenever we play against the Baltimore Ravens in New Orleans, instead of running down the field, we're just going to be right across. We're just going to be right across 10 yards away from each other. Like, okay, all right, boom. Like, no, man, it's like, football is football. Like, so why are we trying to unfootball football? I mean, at the end of the day, I understand you're trying to make it safe, but it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. There's other ways to make it safe than put people 10 yards away from each other.
Yeah, a big head scratcher for me was to the NFL, being that big $1 trillion company, looking at the XFL for a rule change. Like that was kind of like the XFL. Like everybody was talking about the XFL not even being in any type of rank or runnings against the NFL, and then now your offseason is filled with, I guess, what UFL and XFL and all these other, NFL affiliations they have going on. But still, it's like, what the hell? The NFL went to the XFL and took some rules from them and applied it to the NFL. Now it's like, all right, shit, man, maybe go make up something in my backyard and see if they take that one too. But
you never know.
It is what it is.
Got a question for you from your buddy Coy here, Jack. He says, hey, man, I need some advice. I'm a diehard Falcon fan, but I have a conflict of interest. Jack Spade, my nephew, was drafted to Pittsburgh.
Shout out Benny.
Bishop Jr. I want to see him ball out, but not against my team. How am I supposed to act game one? So a little bit of etiquette question for Mr. Spade here on the channel. So tell me, how is he supposed to act, Jack? And I'm trying to find out the credentials on why Jack is the expert on this. Hold on one second. I'm reading.
He's the most popular. He's the most positive Falcons fan in history.
So as you put on your therapist hat, I want to see how are you going to advise this young man?
First of all, you gotta block his number on game day. Gotta block his number. Gotta block him. Corey, hey, big shout out Benny. Hey, Benny Bishop, big shout out to you, man. I'm telling you, man. But Corey Bishop's a Falcon fan first.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So Corey, you got to you show up in your season ticket holder, show up in your seats, get there early. He's gonna be on the field doing warm-ups, just wave, and then after the game, give him a call, say, hey man, good game. Falcons won 31-3. I understand.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
But we still family. But Corey, I mean, you're a family man too as well, man. I mean, I've been to your cookout before. You had like damn near 200-300 people over there, man. So I know your family won't trip on you. That. Yeah, Corey Bishop's he's Mr. Make the Grill jump, man.
What day, Corey? You didn't hit your boy up, man. I'm trying to
Corey's Mr. Make the Grill jump, man.
So wait a minute.
He's got some.
Is Corey a friend, or is he live next door, and that's why you remodeling your house to be like him?
Sheesh.
Which one is it? I'm trying to figure it out.
Corey's a good friend, man. But Corey, your family, they understand about Benny being with the Steelers, but you got Falcons all over your house. You got the Falcon man cave and everything. And I know he's family, but my son could play for the Panthers right now. I would tell him, look, bro, hey, I don't even know you.
We had this conversation.
He gets with Country. We had this conversation, right?
Yeah, we had this conversation.
Don't even call me. Don't text me. Wow. You could have went to the Falcons. We could have got you in the Falcons. You went to the Panthers. I talked to your agent too as well. But I got my son playing football soon. So, Country, about your nephew. That conversation is coming up for you too. Your nephew balling out.
Right. That's right.
Hey, I mean, look, we already having this conversation for college because I mean, Georgia's on the list.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of other great prospects that are up there on the list as well, particularly SEC teams. So that's one of those things. What happens? We have that 8:00 game in Rocky Top, and everybody's oranged out. Against Georgia. It's like, how do we go about that?
How do you go about that?
That might have to be a game where I might just have to be sitting in the suite for it, so nobody can see me. Nobody can see what I'm wearing.
Notice he said the suite.
I mean,
the suite.
I mean, who are you talking to?
In Rocky
talking to Big Low.
The suite.
He goes to Arthur Blank.
It's a family.
He goes to Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank gives him change.
It's a family suite. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's how.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's how.
Wow.
But look, quick story too as well about Country with his what he does for the Rise Up tour. Country, that party that we had in Tennessee was pretty much thanks to Country, right? Because
tell Uncle Steve that.
Uncle Steve, we were boots on the ground, man. We had things set up. We had a bus trip going in that Sunday, so the bus was already full. And then me and Country was already out there a couple of days before, so he was like, well, what are we going to do for the fans? And it was like, well, let's just try to plan something. 1:30 in the morning, we're out downtown Nashville, downtown in the underground, trying to find spots for Falcon fans to come have a good time. But Country, he took charge, man, and he led the team to victory that weekend. From us finding the building was Country. From us going over there, and we're walking. We took the Uber from one location to the next, got out in downtown Nashville at 1:30 in the morning. It's like it's like Atlantic Station at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like everybody is out there, right?
It feels very Vegas-ish.
Yeah, it's packed downtown Nashville. So Country going up, talking to the security guard, talking to general managers, and then for the general manager to walk back to us at 2 in the morning and see us standing over there outside the building. Country walked up, explained the situation, what we got going on. And the general manager, Country, you can tell him he doesn't allow hip hop in his spot. He didn't really want to change up the atmosphere of what he does on Saturday nights. And he met 3 guys from Atlanta who has this fan club. And he opened the doors to us to having a drink special menu. And he changed up. He let the kitchen stay open till 1 a.m., which normally he closes at 10. He had the DJ come in who was from Atlanta, gave us the microphone, let us set up all of our stuff.
Really from Atlanta though?
Well, he could have been from Gwinnett County. I'll say Gwinnett County.
Okay.
Gwinnett County. I was like, man, where you from, bro? You like, man, I went to South. I was like, South Gwinnett? South Gwinnett. All right, man. All right, cool.
Yeah, because the thing is, like there was some songs he was turning off way too early. Like
yeah.
I was like, yeah. You show you from Atlanta, you just roll by. Like,
some of those Migos songs, he was like, I might be from the other part of the north side. I don't know. But for this DJ, he had a good time. For the fans, they had a good time. But rooftop party till 2 in the morning in Tennessee, and we found the location less than 24 hours before. That's from Country. So yes, Country's admin duties. He does a great job. Oh, look at the soundboards, right on point there. That was right on point.
I mean, I I'm, really, quite honestly, I'm hearing this humanitarian part about Lo, and I haven't seen it yet. I mean, every time I meet up with the cat, I mean, we're either at odds.
Yo,
Why we at odds?
He's trying to convince me Desmond Ridder is a better quarterback. He's taking my TV time. The last time he and I were together at the Benz. Well,
I don't know what side you were.
Actually, we weren't together.
That was funny because I'm on the other side of the field looking at the camera, and I see Country. Then I see Uncle Steve, and the camera don't know who to focus on. Right?
Exactly.
They're shifting toward the energy is shifting toward each other. Like, yeah, I'm over here, and Steve's over here, and then you see Uncle Steve. Right. You see 20 seconds of Country. Right. You see 10 seconds of Steve. Then you see 30 seconds of Country. Then you see 5 seconds of Steve. Then you see 2 minutes of Country. Country, what you doing over there, man?
I just gave him $20 for the game. That's all I did. I just gave him $20.
I mean, but see, that don't hit right with me, bro.
Oh, that's my fault, man. That ain't my fault. They're gonna care like me more than they like you. That ain't my fault. You can't blame me for that.
Let's not talk about when Country was in the terrace that day and Terry walked over and started talking to the family. Was it your family was over there and Terry walked over and started talking to everybody?
Terry hit on my grandma.
Man, come on, man. Not
Terry hit on my grandma.
Man. Not Terry as baby, man.
Because I know Terry. So I'm over there talking to Terry, and then grandma come over. She's like, "Yeah." And
did you hear him slip that in? I know Terry. I know Terry. I know him. I know.
I just said because he recognized me. So it's like, so I was sitting over there talking to him, and then grandma come over there like, "Yeah," and I'm his grandmother. And Terry he stopped what he doing. He started talking to me, pushed me over to the side. He was like, "You ain't nobody's grandmother." I like, "Terry, but chill out."
Sheesh.
I
mean, there's another story about a Falcon player telling Country, when they saw each other, "Hey man, I saw that WSB report. Saw you on TV. I really like that report, man."
Talk about Cuzzo.
Good old Kirkwood Cuzzo.
Yeah, we hitting that bank head bounce on. He is good bank head bounce too, don't
he? He did. A little shoulder shrug. A little
shoulder shrug with it. Like, okay.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, he's here?
Damn. I wish he was. Atlanta Falcons pandemic has a question. He says, "I have high expectations for us. My question is, why are the masses shortchanging Kirk Cousins? Can he actually catapult us to the next level?" Mark, I'm gonna put that question to you. What are your thoughts of Kirk Cousins taking us to the quote unquote next level?
I mean, he's proven he's on ball in the regular season. He's going to get you 4,500 yards, about 30 touchdowns. But I think the biggest thing for Atlanta is we have young offensive coordinator, young defensive coordinator. It's Kirk's first year. So I think, kind of like you were saying earlier, we've all kind of been what's what I'm looking for? We all been bit before, so we're all kind of hesitant to say, "Hey, this guy's going to take us to the promised land in his first year." But again, I think it's more of the offensive coordinator. It's such an unknown with the play caller that we're not going to jump fully on board with Kirk Cousins. But I mean, hey, he's capable. Again, if you ask me, I think he's going to give us about 4,500 yards this season, 30 touchdowns, and he's going to put us in position to win every game.
Hey, Mark, do me a favor. Could you please politely tell Lowe's dog not to interrupt you when you're giving an answer? Tell him, say that was rude. That was rude, and for his dog to come up and start.
Can we mention every time we mention Cousins, the dogs barks? Maybe
exactly. What's up with that? Oh well, you should have heard them last year. They were howling when you said Ritter. Ooh. Wow! Watch this. Did you hear that? Hold up. Let me let the dog hear that one time. Let's see.
I love Desmond.
Let's see.
Nothing.
Usually you start barking.
Nothing.
Usually you start barking.
Trust me, it's all love. Hey, I had my girl. She had to lock the door. I had to make sure I had to lock my dog out. So it's all
see.
Hey, I appreciate that, Mark. I appreciate how understanding you are, Mark.
But
Uncle Steve, he'll be understanding like that, man. It's all right.
Jack, same question.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Mark said, good point there. But Kurt's stats, what he mentioned, that's playoff stats. You give me a quarterback with 4,500 yards,
Yeah.
30-something plus touchdowns. Steve, you can put the stats on the screen. Look what Kurt has done.
Wow.
We need a 4,000-yard passer here back in Atlanta. I was going into games last year saying we won the game, and our quarterback just went 11 for 16 for 157 yards. That's strange. And then we would lose the game and say, oh, we lost the game, and our quarterback just went 12 for 27 for 167 yards. I don't want that no more. I want a quarterback that's going to give me 300-yard games. I need a quarterback that's going to give me 250, 3 touchdowns, 100-plus passer rating. That's what I want to see Bijan eating. But teams are talking about what the Falcons are doing. I'm telling you, there's teams that's looking on their schedule right now saying, hey, that team in Atlanta, they ain't no joke this year, right? So be prepared. There was 1 sack away from the playoffs last year. Really, 1 quarter, 1 game, however you want to say it. But I see this team this year with Kurt taking them to the next level. And he hasn't even thrown a pass here for week 1 yet, right? But I know what Kurt has done in the past. He's a veteran. This is not 21-year-old Kurt. We don't know what we're looking at. Or 19-year-old Kurt. No, this is a quarterback that's 30-some years old. He's been proven to be on teams that if you have a team around him, he can win. And he helped beat the Saints too as well. For us Falcon fans, that was, saw that game. And we love to see any other team beat the Saints, especially when it gets down to that playoff time if it happens. But Kirk Cousins not playoff rating. Kirk Cousins passer rating versus the Saints is like 110, I believe it is. So let's not forget when we go play the Saints, I'm looking at sweeps throughout the division because we have a quarterback that other teams are going to look and say, you better get him on the ground or you better cover those wide receivers because he's going to eat. Team players around him is going to eat. That's why Kurt can make us better.
Talk to me, Lo.
Well, I mean, I feel like one of the reasons why he gets so much scrutiny is because, number one, look at our schedule this year. 4 primetime games, possibly 5. It's one of those cases where, what's the biggest knock on Kirk Cousins? It's like everyone has to find something to knock on somebody about. And with him, it's the primetime games. So, I mean, but to piggyback off of what Mark and what Jack said, last year we celebrated when Desmond Ridder threw for 200 yards. We celebrated. Think about this, y'all. The Desmond Ridder threw. If he had a game where he threw for 200 yards, the people who had the undying support for Desmond Ridder, I'm not going to say the name, but the people who had the undying support for Desmond Ridder, they would say, "See, look, he could do it. He could throw for 200 yards." Now it's like you got a guy. I mean, look at these stats. Kirk Cousins, 68% completion rate, 61, 69, 67, 60, 70%. What in the world, Bo? 69, 67. I mean, you look at the yards. I mean, if you put that with I'm sorry, go ahead.
But no, I mean, just looking at the stats, I think the crazy thing is you look at his last season in Minnesota, he played 8 games. He threw for 18 touchdowns. Desmond Ridder and Heineke together threw for 18 touchdowns the whole season.
The whole season.
You want to talk about the next level? I mean,
this guy was on pace for 5,000 yards. He was on pace.
Easy.
Come on, man.
And then you talk about a team who's the defense, everybody's saying that the defensive line has improved. And you got a whole new style of coaching. One thing that a lot of people forget: whenever you bring a new coaching staff in, everybody else doesn't know what to expect. They don't know if they're going to do what they used to do in Los Angeles. They don't know if he's going to take pages from Tampa Bay. Like, it's a complete unknown. So you have the upper leg in that regard.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just don't see why it wouldn't work.
Here's my question to you, Country, to you, Mark, and to you, Steve. If Kurt was to remain on that pace, and like you said, if was a fifth, then we all be drunk. Is that what you said, Country?
Yeah,
all be lit.
If Kirk Cousins would have remained on that pace, would the Detroit Lions would have won a division? Because you're talking about a guy who possibly would have been in over 4,500 yards, 30+ touchdowns. The Vikings would have been fighting for that division, and it was unfortunate that he went down. And to see what happened with the Vikings, I mean, I'm not a Vikings fan, I don't care. But for Justin Jefferson and some of those players, they believed in Kirk. Jordan Addison, some of those young guys, they believed in that guy. That fan base believed in that guy. And he went down. It was unfortunate. But still, if he wasn't injured, Country, Mark, Steve, would the Vikings have been playing in some of those big games later on in the year?
I'll even piggyback off that because I wanted to answer the question too. First, and keeping in mind, Jack, Justin Jefferson wasn't even playing in all those games.
Mhm.
He was spreading the rock to everybody else. Hawkinson, Addison. He was
Osborne.
he was making heroes out of everybody. Which, if you're on the Atlanta Falcons team right now, if you're Drake London, if you're Mooney, if you're Moore, if
Rondale,
you're even Cordero Hodge, you're
Mhm.
getting excited. If you're Kyle Pitts, you're getting your napkin ready. You're doing all of this. Going back to the
Sheesh.
question that I just asked a few minutes ago. Here's my thing. I'm not even throwing up hypotheticals, numbers, and everything like that. Dude, Kirk Cousins is a talented quarterback.
Elite processor.
He is a talented quarterback. Since the days of Matt, Cam, Drew, and I guess young Jameis, the NFC South has not had any quarterbacks in the division of that ilk. Don't let Baker Mayfield fool you. Tampa Bay about to get fooled.
Wait a minute. You said Derek Carr?
No. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Derek Carr, absolutely not. Derek Carr at best is Geno Smith.
Wait, so you say he's not reaching? You say he's not reaching the NADA?
Shit.
He's not reaching Kelly Blue Book value. He's not.
Somebody just texted and said Derek Carr at best is David Carr. Oh shit!
You know what? That actually might be better. But
gap insurance. Everybody, make sure you get gap insurance. Everybody, make sure.
Sheesh.
Kirk Cousins.
Down when you
told you about them pre-owns.
Total loss. Certified pre-owns are all they cracked up to be.
Kirk, and again, folks, I'm not trying to baffle you with BS. I'm just look at the numbers. One of those years, even the 8-game year, would have gotten us at least a division.
Yeah.
Hello.
So I don't know why people are questioning whether Kirk Cousins will be a great addition to this team. It's a matter of when and if his Achilles is going to be okay when the season starts. I have a feeling it might. But go ahead, Jack. I see you.
Substituting those stats, like you just said, substituting those stats for the Falcons last year, that would have been right there to get you to that playoff line. Like if you would have changed that around for what Ritter had to what I'm looking at right now for 2023. Oh man, come on.
I disagree,
bro.
Jack. It would have been 2-3 games better.
Oh shit!
You said to the line. It would be 2 to 3 games better. Jack,
there's something else.
Let's do this. I apologize, Lo. I apologize.
Oh, no, you good. Oh no. I'm sorry. I was just going to say there's something else. There's another circumstance that we're forgetting as far as last year. They didn't have any running game. Dalvin Cook was gone. I mean, Dalvin Cook was gone, and they thought Madison was going to be the heir apparent, and that was a dumpster fire. So
that was almost close to your boy, Mike Davis, right? Didn't you say that? Didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, to very Mike Davis-esque.
Jack, true story, Jack. I was sitting home, and the next thing I know, I got a text with that picture. Remember that infamous picture with those thighs of Mike Davis in the t-shirt?
Yeah, the Popeyes.
Low said, Earl Campbell.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But,
oh my God.
But Jack, substitute those numbers for, I'm just going to go down the line, the Washington game.
Yeah.
The Minnesota game flipped over. Obviously, he played for Minnesota, but the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
The second Tampa Bay game.
Yep.
The
Cardinals. Please make
the Cardinals game.
Thank you.
The Carolina, we can't get a freaking touchdown game.
Which we all sat there and watched.
Which we all sat there and watched together.
You, country, pound for pound. That was crazy.
So that's the only reason that obviously I was being facetious.
Oh shit! I remember the pick. I'm sorry. When I think about the pass, I'm sorry. It starts to hurt.
Worst interception ever.
It's nothing more hilarious than to watch your friends or and obviously when I saw Jack in London, it was after the game. Yeah. But we were all, as he said, we were all together. I love being able to watch the faces and the reactions. And you see the heart of these guys as fans, which I love to see. And Jack looked like And I think we had good food that day. But Jack looked like he wanted to throw up.
There's a 9-hour flight we have to take in a couple of days with a loss on our record. It's the 9-hour flight that got me. It was like I wanted to fly back with a win, not a loss. And anything over a 4-hour flight, I hate. And I can tell you right now, that 9-hour flight was like sleeping. Like, can't believe having nightmares. Like, no, throw the ball away. Don't do that.
Waking up, sweating. That was tough, man. That was
two Jaguar fans are on the plane heading back to Atlanta for a connecting flight, and I'm looking at them like, I'll throw you off this plane right now.
Bro, I was sitting next to a Saints fan in London.
That was the one thing that was crazy. Seeing everybody's jerseys from all the NFL teams because they're all supporting everybody else's team.
Absolutely.
It's like the London Jags are there. They have their fan base. Even their thank you video that they played before the game was like, y'all are the London Jags. Like, how do you not see this video? It went back to like 1987. Like, the Jags were around since 87. When did this happen? But they were preparing to have the Jags in London. But to sit next to a Steeler fan, a Patriot fan, a Commander fan, they're looking at me like, what just happened? What do you mean? What just happened?
That's how they were looking at me.
They play rugby. Oh, okay, cool. Well, never mind.
Somebody's on here, Danisha, and I see you, Danisha. She keep coming in here, and I appreciate you jumping in. And she says, we will be there. You got your tickets week 1. Let me tell you something. I'm going to piggyback this off Danisha. We're starting the season against arguably one of the best traveling teams, if not the best traveling team in the NFL.
One of the biggest fan base legacy.
I thought you were going to say best offensive coordinator. I'm sorry.
Biggest fan. Oh, boy, if you don't.
Is he watching? You know, he's
I
still.
hope he is.
He probably still watching on our podcast. Is he watching right now?
He probably is.
I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with your tickets. I'm not. But I am telling you, and I'm pleading with you, please don't sell the tickets to these Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Oh, yeah.
Please, do me a favor.
They will pay anything too.
For week 1, find a Falcon fan. If you're not going to game 1 anyway in the first, and not saying if there's something personal that's different. If you're not going to game 1 and you know you can't make it, gift it to a Falcon fan or give them a discount. We can't have the crap we had a couple of years ago. Please, when we had Lowe's favorite quarterback, Marcus Mariota, which I think that was his last game, where he threw the interception.
Yeah, that was it.
Where he tossed the interception. It wasn't even a throw. It was a toss. He tossed the interception. First play of the drive. Falcons got the ball. We just need to drive the field, score a field goal, and we win the game. First throw.
First throw.
Minka Fitzpatrick celebrates.
Threw it right to him.
Threw it right to him. And I could just see the look on Jack's face was probably the look he had that day. That he was, I mean, do y'all remember the terrible towel? And the bins wasn't even full.
They wasn't even full.
But you saw them towels. Like, it was crazy.
That goes
go ahead.
To a lot of the fan clubs that we talk about with this Rise Up Tour fan club. A lot of those Steeler fans are part of fan clubs. That Steel Curtain, there's a couple other ones that's out here in the South, and a couple other ones up there in Pittsburgh and so on. But those fan clubs travel well. I just shared something in the chat with you guys about the New York Giants fan club and how they have 3 different chapters here in Atlanta. Right. The Giants fans, which we play this year, will be showing up to the Benz. The Cowboys fans will be showing to the bench. And the Cowboys, 2 of the Cowboys chapter fan clubs already hit us up because they want to party with us in Atlanta. So I'm telling you right now, when these fan bases show up in the Benz, it's very important that you not only do not sell your tickets, but show up on time in your seats. They gave us some later games. Wrap the tailgate up. That second, third quarter experience for some of these fans, it has to stop. Get in that stadium before kickoff. Country, you've traveled with us on the road. You've seen other stadiums. Them jokers in their seats before they even do the doggone video
12 o'clock.
On the video board, before they even turn the damn Halo board on. They're in the damn
12
seat.
o'clock. 12 o'clock in New Orleans. Whenever they do the concert, boom, boom, boom.
Them
when
folks
the game
in their
starts,
seats.
they in there. They in there jumping. That thing live because everything they do. I don't care if it's a touchdown. They start the game with it's a whole concert.
Yep.
I ain't never seen nobody put a concert together in 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know, when the Saints come marching, then boom, boom, boom. The chop us out, chop us. I like
4 or 5 songs like they have a radio station in there.
That's
It's like, what is going on?
And y'all know what it is. New Orleans is kind of funny. My wife, when we went to the Desmond Ritter debut game a couple of years ago, New Orleans pregame, they play unedited rap music.
Yes. Oh yeah,
you think I'm joking?
Yeah,
yes.
Straight up, unfiltered, straight up, Magic City-esque type music in there with no filter.
Mark, it ain't no joke.
And when you hear that trumpet, when you hear that loud trumpet play off, they finna second line there. Bump, 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 bump. When you hear that shit, it's going down.
You better move to the side.
You better move the hell out the way.
You better move to the side.
It is on. But I'm gonna go back to something too, and I know it doesn't apply to you and probably some people in the chat. We've had that issue here since probably the 90s. Like people infiltrated the Atlanta metro area. Like we have a transient city, where folks come in here, and we had the problem at the Georgia Dome, folks. During the last run in the Georgia Dome, they had to beg the fans to come early. The only time I saw the fans come early, and if y'all were in the Georgia Dome and had season tickets, you can go back and remember, they had to beg folks, even the Super Bowl year, to come to the stadium early. Only after we made the playoffs did you see us fill that stadium prior
Which
to
was
kickoff.
The last 2 games of the Dome. So
the last 2 games with that was it. But maybe that New Orleans game, maybe the last New Orleans game. They were the one where the Falcons came out in the cars. But it's a problem here because we really don't have a native, we don't have a local fan base that supports. And when I say that, I'm keeping in mind PSLs and stuff. I'm not trying to tell you people are too, you don't have enough money to pay to come in there. But I'm saying it's gonna take a lot to get folks to come in at 12:30.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a lot.
They have a 4:25 game this year. They have an 8:25.
Yes, that's right.
They have a couple primetime games.
Right.
Wrap up the tailgate. It's time to get in there. The Benz is playing 3. They put 3 train horns. The first horn lets you know the gates are open. The second horn lets you know it's an hour before kickoff, and the third horn lets you know it's 30 minutes. Wrap it up. They should They should do 3 more horns because by halftime, the people that start there grilling. Man, I'm going in fourth quarter. Man, that's when they get lit.
Well, don't forget though. Now it's like because that new experience they're building over there at the Gulch.
Yeah,
I feel like that's counterintuitive because they're gonna be. You think the tailgate's crazy now? Just imagine with all that stuff that they're gonna have over there. Like, come on, bro. Like they're gonna be down there partying. They're gonna come in halfway through the second, and it's gonna be tough.
Hostile environments though is big, man. Because I've been in Cincinnati. I remember turning around to a Cincinnati Bengal fan telling them, "Hey, if I stand up too much, I apologize. I'm just cheering on my team." And the Bengal fan said, "Oh, don't worry about that. It won't be important. Like, don't worry about you standing up." So I looked around third quarter, everybody's standing up. Nobody's sitting down. Fourth quarter, everybody's standing up. Nobody's sitting down. Like, literally, nobody. And it was to a point where I turned around after the game we lost, and I looked to the fan, and he was like, "See why I told you why standing up was going to be that important? Because everybody's standing up here in Cincinnati. Everybody." And I remember Eric Parker's story when he was getting loud on second down on defense. Ask Eric Parker. Season ticket holder, PSL holder. He was standing up, getting loud in his section, in his seat, and a Falcon fan telling him behind him he needs to sit down, and so people behind him can enjoy the game. And Eric said, "You're supposed to be standing up with me, making noise with me."
I think I remember him telling.
They told him to sit down and please don't make no noise. And I think they called security on him too as well. Like what?
They called security on Eric?
Man, Eric will tell you the story. Eric will tell you the story. It was a situation where Eric was like, "Why are you not standing up? And why are you telling me as a fan to sit down? You're a Falcon fan. Stand up, make noise." Remember Seattle country? Them fans they walked in there at 11:30 with a beer can in their hand. New Balances, cargo shorts, and a Seattle Seahawks jersey.
Yep.
Every one of them. New Balances, white socks, cargo pants, and a Seattle Seahawks jersey with a beer in their hand. Went to their seat, stood up the whole game.
Mark, you getting somebody to tell a story about when the Falcon fans asked you to sit down. Do you remember this story?
Mark has one too.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. So basically, I've always been the Eric Parker in my section. That's actually my mom in the chat. She has season tickets. She's never going to sell her tickets to any away fans. And and she travels with the team too. I'm sure she'll be going to the game in Vegas. She loves her some Vegas, so I know that was a perfect game for her. But yeah, man, we go back to the Michael Vick days in Georgia Dome. I was a fan that used to annoy our own fan base because I understood situations in the game. Okay, maybe second down, but this is a critical down. If maybe we can hold them from getting any yards and we make it 3rd and 10, well, now we can get even more crunk on 3rd down. So trust me, I was that fan that was always 2 plays ahead. And I used to annoy the away fans. I used to annoy the home fans for just being just for supporting the team and being what I think every fan should be is engaged and understand that we have a part in our team's success. Like if we can get loud and we can get a team to maybe get a false start penalty, that's because of the fans. That's so. Yeah. Again, man, I have several stories, man, when you want to talk about lit on 1st, 2nd, 3rd down. I'm trying to convince my mom would tell you there's times when I try to convince her to stand up, but wow. I'm a firm believer that energy is contagious. So I just wish our fan base could buy into that, and it doesn't have to be a playoff game for us to think that our voice matters.
Yeah, and Steve, I don't know if it's the PSLs. I think every team in the NFL is eventually going to go to PSLs because they're building billion-dollar stadiums, right? But I've seen New Orleans, rowdy fan base in that 100 section. I usually sit behind the bench of either the Falcons or sometimes I sit behind the Saints bench. I'll talk shit on the Saints bench side. I don't care. But I've noticed that since they put that PSL in place and they started renovating the stadium, the fans that are down in that 100 section are a little bit different. They're not too rowdy.
Yes.
They're not too rowdy no more. Because that money's a little bit different with the PSLs now. In the past, you sitting down there in 100 sections, they'll get on you. They'll get on you bad. I remember sitting there last year, like, I feel like I was in like what country, like sitting there next to the Queen in London or something, like sipping my damn champagne. I'm like, this is some prestige shit. But I went right before the pandemic. Me and my son flew down there, and it was super hostile. And I'm assuming that's right before the PSL. Yep.
I went to Desmond's debut. And I want to say that was either December 22. It was like one of the last games of the year. And one of the last 4 games. I sat, how they have the 100 section, but you're under the cover.
Yeah.
Up against the thing. So we were sitting there. We had this whole row of where the handicap seats are. And so I'm literally at the thing. And so I'm there with my wife and my daughter who are turning their heads because I'm talking so much cash junk in the game that it's not. I mean, I
love those moments,
bro. Let me tell you something. If you think Uncle Steve is like this cool, laid back, calm, collective guy, watch a game with this guy.
Yeah,
go to a game with Uncle Steve. Yeah. If you, I was like, man, I remember we went to the game. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a vibe. We're gonna chill out, Uncle Steve. Let me tell you something, Bo. Lit. I ain't gonna say 1 o'clock. From 12:50 to 4:30, lit.
With the alcohol or without the alcohol?
No alcohol needed, bro.
Uncle Steve's a fan.
Not at all.
Oh, Uncle Steve's a fan.
Not at all. Ask the fans in New York if my brother Butter Pecan, a.k.a. Berto, was on here. He would tell you. New York last year, MetLife Stadium, Guard came over to me. She said, oh, they gonna get us done. Don't get too. I said, for what? They losing. What you want me to do? They losing the game. Of course I'm gonna talk junk. I mean, they were really getting upset, but I'm saying to myself, because I'm that guy. I'm gonna bring
that
passion
guy
for my team.
Uncle Steve was talking trash to Brian Burns' family, y'all.
Yeah,
like, let me tell you, Brian Burns' family is sitting right beside us. Uncle Steve talking cash money.
Oh, they had the terrorists too? They had terrorists too?
It was over there in a little section.
Okay.
Like where everybody else stand, the club section.
Yeah.
Uncle and at the end of the game, Lo, we were all best friends, were we?
All best friends.
At the end of the game.
But during the game, getting it to them.
No prisoners.
Getting it to them.
No prisoners.
I mean, talking trash at the game is what it's about. In week 2, I'll be in Philly week 2. So I'll be going live a lot in that stadium. I'm going to try to do the best I can to create a Falcons versus Philly fans, type of video, so that way fans can see, what Falcon fans are doing in Philly and what Eagles fans are doing in Philly. Because my friend in Philly said they're not that bad, but then I got another friend in Philly that said if you sit in the 300 or the 400 section, they're gonna beat your ass up there. Really? So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna try to be somewhere behind the bench, but I talk trash. That's what I do. I make it fun though. I want to know the people around me. I shake hands. How you guys doing? Let's keep it cool. But we're gonna support our teams. That's what it is. Absolutely. But the moment we get out of hand and somebody starts pointing fingers and they want to fight, that's a different story. So it depends. I mean, you could have, and if you ask Lo, my trash talk game to me is on point, but I'm not dumb and I'm not crazy. I'm not trying to put myself out there like maybe some of our over inebriated friends are. Exactly. But I by the end of the game, I guarantee you, Saints, Dallas, Philly, whoever, we will be shaking hands. I will still be talking junk if we won, but it's all about the Falcons for me. Yeah, it's been that way since I was 6, 7. I went into that New Orleans game a couple weeks ago, or that last game of the season. We was tied at the half. I went in there talking. Oh yeah, that's right. Shit. I went back to my seats talking shit until Ritter threw the pick. Then I was like, okay, well, this is over. I'm done now. But we had fun. We have fun everywhere we go. But Cardinals fans in Arizona were talking shit to me because we were losing. And I was like, Cardinals fans. I'm in my chair like, Cardinals fans. They're like Jags fans, like Cardinals fans. But the dude's saying, oh, you guys are just one quarterback away. He's over there. He's smiling at me with his arms folded. You guys are one quarterback away. I can't believe this. But hey, man.
And you know what we did, Jack? No. Okay, we'll give you that quarterback. How about that? How about we give you that same quarterback?
I want fans to remember that Jack Spade was in Arizona last year watching the Falcons play the Cardinals, which they had one win at that time, and a Cardinal fan telling me, you guys are one quarterback away. Wow.
Hey, and it's ironic because they traded for our quarterback. They got Desmond Ritter now. So and it's funny. It's almost like because my mom, they've been to a couple Cardinals games. They say that the Cardinals are like the West Coast version of the Falcons. Do you feel that way?
On like the screen, rise up Bird gang on the screen. They had dirty birds written on the top of a hood that they had their mascot wiping off the hood of the car. It says it said, don't forget, rise up Red Sea is their slogan too as well. And they yell it, rise up Red Sea. And they do that shit. And then the colors, because you're wearing your white away jerseys with a little bit of red on there. They have their red maroon jerseys with a little bit of white on there. It's a bird on the logo. It's another bird over here on the logo. It's just weird. But then they was yelling out Bird Gang during the season. I'm like, Bird Gang? But I'm so used to being a Falcon fan that they are the Cardinals. They are a bird. So I understand that. But we have so much input into the Rise Up and into the Dirty Birds and into the Bird Gang. We don't expect another team to do that. So seeing the West Coast version of us was kind of weird, But hey, they party though. I ain't gonna lie. Now Arizona, they can party.
Yeah, they party. It's. I mean, this year, which is one of the reasons I was so excited to have you on too, Jack, and I appreciate the stories you've been telling. I'm so hyped about the opportunity to go to Vegas, and the reason why, for those who haven't been to Las Vegas, and I'm not telling you to go there and put your house note on the slots or put it on the blackjack table
Yeah,
and
don't
do
bet on
all of that.
27 red. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But can y'all imagine the Atlanta takeover in the casinos?
Yeah.
Saturday night, Jack, you go down to the casino floor and you see all the red and black, the number 9 Penixes, the number 18 Cousins, the number 8 Pitts, the number 15 Felipe Frank. No, I'm just playing. But all the other, y'all can go on the floor and see that. And then more importantly, Sunday morning, watching all the hotels and all the people going to to me,
Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday morning. Oh, I apologize.
You get that Sunday to hang out and party.
Correct.
That's even better now for Falcons
I
fans.
apologize.
Mhm.
So you got an extra day.
Extra day. And I want to let you know one thing that we do with the Rise Up tour, like it's not just about parties and everything. We're really focusing on doing stuff that's city specific.
Oh yeah.
So for example, it's like when we go to Denver, we plan on, a lot of people never skied or snowboarded before.
Right.
So we're going to have, we're going to try, we're working on something to have like a group outing so everybody could, go enjoy that. And I'm pretty sure like we're working on some stuff for Vegas. I mean, because, it's like, we know that it's not all about partying. It's not all about, popping bottles and everything else like that. So it's like, I know Jack.
Bottles? What do you mean?
Jeez. To piggyback off that, to know we had a schedule leak that thought it was going to be September. So we started calling Vegas to put things in place. We had a party set up for over 1,000 people. It was going to be 1,000 people because we know how many people is going to Vegas. But every party that we put on, every event that we put on, we've always reached capacity. Like every single event, no matter. I think people had been to New Orleans last year. They saw what happened in Razzoos. We've had that for the past 5 years. So in Vegas, like you said, Steve, casinos, the hotels, people traveling around to different sightseeing opportunities. We're going to provide that for Falcon fans because people know what our group does. But that party in Vegas, it's going to be ridiculous. I can tell you right now, it's just going to be ridiculous.
I know that's going to be just such a good atmosphere.
And country will be there.
Oh, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about you just brought the whole thing down. Like you put a pin in the balloon.
Well, a lot of people in the chat want to meet country. Why not meet them at the slots or meet them at the roulette table?
Roulette table. That's what I'm gonna be at. Roulette table.
You know who they coming to hang with? They coming to hang with
Super Chat with.
So Uncle Steve hour in Vegas. Can I add that to that itinerary? Hey Siri, Uncle Steve hour in Vegas. Your chance to dance, to mingle, to wine and dine with the one and only Uncle Steve.
I like that voiceover. You know what, Jack? I'm gonna have to put that voiceover.
Right.
I have to put you on there.
I told one time for the fan chat, I said, Uncle Steve is getting better right now. We got to step it up. We got to got a soundboard over there with songs.
Man,
that's what, where the songs at? Did you say you were working on something?
He done changed the game. I'm telling you. Uncle Steve done changed the game.
I told Jack true story. When obviously I've known Lo a couple of years now, but every time I heard the Superman chat, I was like, that's so creative.
Yep.
And that's something that people will stick to. And I said to myself as I went into the man cave, I said, I got to bring something that's different to the game. So I'm bringing it different. I'm not saying it's better. Nothing better than a Superman chat. However, I think
it's so creative, man. It's like
they
got new ones that you rolling out all the time. It's like you can't beat that, man.
I mean,
I just sit back and I say, what
that's a Superman chat. And then you have Uncle Steve with the songs. I'm guessing somebody's gonna start thinking of a rap. Superman chat, we in the chat with the Superman. Put your money in the cash app.
I'll break it down on the rap too now.
I'm ready for it.
Hey, we need a not like us one. We need a not like us one.
Does he have a? Is that a rap track? Uncle Steve had? Oh my god!
I'll break it down if we want to now.
Yo!
Somebody in the comments said Uncle Steve is a genius. Somebody.
This is it. I can't.
Folks,
Oh,
if
no.
I had time to do this all night, I would. However, as Aunt Kira will probably say, she'll start doing like they do in Jack. She start pulling them papers in there.
Yeah.
You need to come upstairs. Let's go. So I have to.
Dinner's getting cold.
But it has been nothing but awesome to deal with the chat and talk to 3 of the best content creators out there. I'm gonna go around and ask these guys to tell everybody, not ask guys, tell these guys to tell everybody where they are and what they're doing. Mark, I'm gonna start with you, brother. I appreciate you. You gotta start hooking me up offline, man. I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while, so I know we got some things we probably want to do together going into the summer. And I just appreciate you, my brother, and appreciate you popping in because it's long overdue. But tell everybody where you're at, man, and what you're doing online and what you got going on.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me. Definitely appreciate your creativity. Like I said, always putting a smile on our face. But yeah, man, if y'all don't know, my name is Marquise Chaney. I'm trying to pop back out more, man. I've kind of been incognito a little bit, so I did just start up my new YouTube channel. It's listed right here as Mark Chaney. So definitely would love, everyone to hit that subscribe button for me, please. They say it's free, so just double check. If you don't mind,
Unless you're big,
unless you have a Cash App, a link underneath it or something. I'm just playing.
Just press it for me. But yeah, like I said, I'm getting that started up. A lot of it was inspired really because of the Atlanta Hawks getting that #1 pick. I was like, man, I got to stop playing. I got to take advantage of all this attention that Atlanta sports is getting. So like I said, I would definitely appreciate you all to follow my new channel. And I'm also on Bleacher Report. I have a new show on the Hawks actually next week. I know Berto goes live Wednesday, so we should see the butter pecan fella on Bleacher Report. So, hey, like I said, I'm just happy to be here, and like I said, I'm just trying to be a part of the family, man. That's all it is. So I appreciate you.
Mark, you already got somebody else subscribing. If you don't mind, Mark, I don't know if you can see the chat or not. Put your link in there so folks can get it in there and subscribe to the channel. And,
I just subscribed as well, Mark.
Hooked up in there. See, they're quick to do stuff like that, Mark. My technical skills, I'm gonna have to do it when I leave. Low showing off that he can do it quick, but I mean,
I feel like there's a versus coming up soon this year. There's got to be a versus.
He just needs silence. He don't need nobody bothering him. He need to concentrate.
We are gonna have a versus. I'm gonna have Mark as my towel guy. He's gonna be in my corner, like he'll be like Duke for Apollo in Rocky.
You can win.
I mean, we are going to Vegas this year, and Mayweather's boxing gym isn't that far from the Strip, so we can step in there for a little. No, I'm just playing.
I don't know why has like this disdain towards me. I think it's just jealousy. I don't know what it is. Like
we are, for the record, folks, trying to get that together, and I know we talked. I know. It's kind of hard to talk because Lowe's kind of world traveler, so we don't get a chance to get down again. So once he gets off of the off of the yachts and come down, we're gonna try to hook that stuff in. Jack, appreciate you, brother. I know I gotta return the favor and jump on with you. I know I do. I owe you probably 2, at least 3, but I love having you on here, brother, and I mean this. The importance of this Rise Up tour to just energize the fan base, and I see the passion when you're talking on your YouTube channel, and I've seen it in person that you're not fake and you're a real fan, and you take this thing real deep, and that's for somebody who's a long-time fan. You don't understand, man. That digs deep to me. So even if I didn't know you before a year or 2 ago, I'm just proud of what you're doing, man, and I'm happy that you energized this fan base. Brother, tell them about your not only your channel, but tell them again for those of you who are just joining about the Rise Up tour.
Yeah, and I'll definitely pop the information in the chat for everybody that wanted to go ahead and follow the channel too as well. You can just listen to it right here. It's One Time for the Fan every Sundays, every Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And we have pop-up shows in between. I think we're going to do a pop-up show tomorrow. Big shout out to Bodie, who's also One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to T. Will. Big shout out to Carrie, one of our newest podcasters with One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to Chase, Dirty Fanatics United. He's also live right now, so big shout out to him. And of course, the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. We've been doing this for 7 years. It started with a guy named Thomas Scott who purchased a ticket from me in Cleveland because I was going to an away game. And he called me a couple of days later after he purchased the ticket and said, hey, he wants to put on a party for fans on the road. And then 7 years later, we have over 1,000+ members in our group. We travel to all away games. We put on events every city, every away game. Doesn't matter what it is. Country, who's a diehard not only content creator and Falcon fan, but he's also with the Rise Up Tour crew too as well. He's done great things with the crew. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting One Time for the Fan. I hear the jokes between Steve and Country. I guess that's what happens when you reach 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there at One Time for the Fan. So if you want to hit that like, share, and subscribe button so I can joke with Country and Steve on that level, because I'm listening to it like when I get to 1,000 subscribers, somebody getting roasted up in this. But I ain't gonna, we're almost there. We're about 100 away. I think we're like 102, 103 away. But fans love the content. Mark, you said you want to go ahead and talk some Falcons football Wednesday. If you're available, come on over, man. Come talk some Falcons football with us on the channel. Thank you to everybody who's been so supportive. If you want Rise Up Tour information for the fan club, I'll post it in the chat. But Philly, we are there. Washington, we are there. The bus trip information for Carolina and Tampa is already out. We already have some other information that we're going to be passing out soon. I just want fans to just know that when we go on the road, we do these things for you guys, right? We want to make sure you all can feel like you're in Atlanta when you're on the road. It's where fans become family. That's the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. Thank you all for tonight.
I mean, again, I say this seriously. Atlanta Falcon fans, that's the kind of camaraderie we need, especially when you're on the road and you know, sometimes you might go. I've done that. I've gone to a game and it's only like 2 or 3 of us, and you don't really know anybody. And it's just a good thing that I know it. I'm telling y'all, I can vouch for this cat. Mr. Jack is the host of hosts that you want on there to when you're doing these things. So Jack, we appreciate you as a Falcon fan and definitely in the Falcons fan community. We really appreciate you. Last but not least, man, my brother, look, when I started doing this on Facebook 8 years ago and stuff, and I didn't really get into YouTube until about 2 years ago. And I loved interacting with people and stuff like that. So I switched over to YouTube. People told me about that. And I ran into a couple of folks, and y'all know the names, you know, Smitty and Smitty Sports Machine. Shout out to him. Butter Pecan, aka Berto on 95 North. And this guy right here has become a confidant and a dude that I talk to a lot about a lot of the things that are going on with the Atlanta Falcons. And we're always laughing. I've even heard some people say when he comes on, we laugh so much sometimes you forget about that it's a sports channel. You just like being entertained. And he's one of them cats, man. And I just appreciate his friendship and, more importantly, his Falcon fandom. And I think I've said enough. Is that how much you pay? Is that $100 worth? How much I paid for? Is that good? Okay, so so since I've reached that criteria, tell them about the channel.
Nah, you just at 65. You can keep going. Hey, man. First of all, thank you so much, Uncle Steve. You know, your friendship definitely means a lot to me as well. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that just loves to sit around and talk about sports. You know, if you're looking online, if you're ever on YouTube or you're on Twitter or Facebook and you're looking for good Atlanta Falcons content, and you know, I'm just letting you know this too, Mark, in the future, you know, you want to try to kind of get, you know, in that algorithm, you know, put #Rise Up content creators
That's right.
in your description. If anybody's looking for great Atlanta Falcons content, put #Rise Up content creators, and it'll pop up a whole bunch of great Atlanta Falcons content. Yeah, I mean, definitely, Uncle Steve, you know how we do. We go on here and we chop it up. Y'all see what's underneath my name, the best singer on the panel, because it's the truth. Like Uncle Steve, he could, put his little songs and everything
It's
up.
driving me out of my mind.
Right,
That Uncle Steve will kill this rhyme. I'll read your super chat. Left, right, read it. That chat is
what in the world? Like, this is
poison.
I was gonna let you finish until you start saying that nonsense, but go ahead.
Hey, look. I mean, like I was saying, Uncle Steve, he'll play his little songs and everything, but we all know who the best singer he is. Like, whenever the mic is on, because we don't know if that's Uncle Steve singing or if that's his son. I think that's his son.
Oh snap!
You already.
2024 is the year of beef.
It's your beef.
It's gonna be a violent. It's gonna be a violent versus.
It's gonna be a violent versus. I'm going to go ahead and start off.
Jadakiss. Remember Jadakiss?
Here's the boy said Daylight, not us.
Bone Thugs versus 3-6. Huh? We threw the mic at him.
Right.
You must not take your mans.
I remember that.
Let's get violent. So Kendrick Lamar said they not like us. I'm just saying he not like me. That's all I want to say. He not like me.
You got 24 hours to respond.
You got 24 hours. I'm gonna come back to back on you. I'm gonna come back to back. Meet the Johnsons. I'm gonna come back to back on you.
See, y'all don't know. It's go time. It's go time.
But look, man, we have a great time, man. Y'all can check us out at Big Low Country on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much any platform. We're at all the home games, season tickets to the home games. We're at all, most of the away games. I have a few more responsibilities this year because my little cousin, he's being recruited to play football. So this year we might miss a few games. But yeah, man, look, anytime we get on here, the main goal is for everybody to have a good time. That's on the panel and the people that are watching. That's the main goal.
You're gonna miss a few games, but don't miss the tea time because we pay for 4. And we're gonna bring no scratch golfer a part of that. So don't miss the tea time.
I got you. Can't miss the tea time. Hey, I tell you, Jack, I'm trying to get Uncle Steve out there too.
Uncle Steve, man, you coming out there? I'm telling you, man. Hey, we slicing 330 with the driver, man. I'm telling you right now. It's ping.
I'm a putt legend. But as far as driving,
that's good.
You put a 3-iron in my hand, bro.
When we get on the greens, we're looking at birdie, and we're looking at par. Uncle Steve, now's your time. Come on, we're playing team here. So me and you versus country and whoever. So yeah, come on, man.
That I won't make no promise on, but I'll caddy for you. I'll watch all that. I'll be a good caddy. Folks, I appreciate all of you joining us. For those of you who want to get updated, the Braves are getting smacked around 8-0, unfortunately. And the Nuggets are up in the second quarter, 34-27, game 7. Can Nikola Jokic, can he make it to the Western Conference Finals one more time? We'll see. Until then, folks, I appreciate you. Thank you again, panel, for joining us today. Everyone else, have a great day. Let me put this nice little ending on here, fellas. So if y'all hear this ending on here, don't feel like I'm not talking to you, but y'all hear this outro I just got on. This is probably my voice in the background. Until then, y'all take care.